3, 2, 1. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to doing this.
Me too.
We were talking about this before we started rolling. I saw because they released Terrifier 2 in theaters, like November 1st. And I went to go see it. I still think the first one's better. But, yeah, have you seen the second one?
BZ, did we see the second one fully? Yes. We did.
Yeah, crazy in theaters.
Oh.
Fucking crazy.
Wait, that's the one with the sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Where she dresses up as like an angel with all the armor and shit like that. The scene where he breaks into the chick's house and he's like torturing her. Yeah. Like on the yeah, with the saw and scalps her and shit.
Wait. Because I saw the first one and me and my brother, we was like, let's see what the hype is about. So we watched it and everything. Okay, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. The chainsaw down the middle. And we're like, oh, you're starting off with a banger. I was watching this, and you know when they had a sign. Can we say whatever you want? Okay,
whatever the fuck you want.
You know how they always have guys when they're kicking the balls or something like that, and they're and the guys like, oh, that hurts and everything. As a female, seeing I'm sorry, but seeing her fucking vagina get ripped like that, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh yeah. So I was like, okay, this is how we started off. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, the director of those movies, Damien Leone, he's a fucking psycho. He seems like a nice guy.
No, not that.
He is a psycho.
A guy with a chainsaw and ripping a girl's vagina. I don't want to be friends with you. What the fuck? Stay away from me. Stay away from me. What the fuck? I don't even want your name on my number because I know you're gonna probably go on these fucking Google Maps or something. I'm scared of you. I need a contract and a waiver. Bye.
That's funny. Yeah, that first one, because it came out on Netflix, and I don't think they expect
Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, little kids can get into Netflix. They're smart as hell. What the fuck is this on Netflix for?
We were just talking about what your cousin, your niece watching Chainsaw Man.
No, my brother. He's 6 years old.
Oh, your brother.
Yeah,
okay.
This is a different generation. They're smart with the iPads and everything. I'm over here like, yo, you're teaching me how are you hacking this? I'm watching like, oh, we're gonna have future serial killers coming up. I'm just saying because let's get it ready.
Well, yeah, I don't. How old were you when you got your first touch screen?
Oh, so actually, I was probably 15 and stuff like that.
That's a good age. I think that's a good age.
I begged my father. I was like, this is so stupid. And I was like, everyone had the new iPhones and stuff like that, and I just wanted a phone to sound so stupid. Just send some emojis.
That is the most generic teenager lie I have ever heard in my fucking life. I just want to send emojis, Dad. That's all.
No, because I was texting people off my flip phone.
Right.
You know? And I was just like this. That's cool. Yeah, I got an iPhone. You just, I can't use it right now because I'm in trouble.
Rough.
Because, people are texting me. And they're like, they have emojis. And if you don't have a freaking iPhone or a touchscreen phone, you're not going to get the emojis. You're going to get these weird boxes and stuff like this. I'm like, I don't know what the hell they just sent me, but yeah, sure. No, here's sending a dot and a smiley face, yeah, thank you, and stuff like that. And I told my pops, I'll get all the money, I'll pay my own phone bill. I just want a touchscreen phone so I can send emojis. That's it. That was really why. Okay. And then after that, people were like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah. So when I got my first touchscreen phone, and I was like, oh, I'm cool. Let's take a selfie. Let's do this. And then after that, it was an Android, but to me it was cool. And after that, I was all the new iPhones came out, and I was like, oh, so I'm not that cool. You know how long it took me to finally get this? But, okay. Oh, I'll get there. And I got my first iPhone when I was 19.
That's not a bad age either.
Yeah, so send them to get them at
He's
5.
like, yeah, I made the right decision. Well, yeah, so I guess I should have said this out of the beginning. We have your father and your brother here in the studio with us. So thank you guys for coming as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you guys very much.
We're a duo, so wherever I'm at, they're there. So it's a...
Well, I was telling you that on the phone 2 weeks ago. That's awesome. That's the kind, especially with what you do what you're gonna do for a living. That's the support you need.
No, it came a long way because without them, it's that extra motivation you need. Because it's so lonely and it's so boring and everything. Everybody likes to glorify and see you winning and all this stuff like that. It looks cool. Even 2 weeks after, oh, congrats, da da da. They love that, but then you go back into your reality check and everything. You're like, oh, I'm not that star no more. Oh, okay. And then they have them continue putting you on the path. No. You are worth this. It's just a journey. This little settle. It's okay.
Well, especially individual sports, like really any combat sports, bodybuilding, powerlifting, those are all very solitary sports. That is very, you can have a team of people, you can have supporters, but then it's like, how bad do you want it? And then why do you want it? Because at the end of the day, you're training. I mean, you can spar with people, but you're training by yourself. I mean, you have a coach and all that good stuff, but at the end of the day, it's your own mentality is going to keep you there.
Yeah, and especially it kicks in. I think it really kicks in is once they find that opponent, and then you got a name, a face to it and everything, and you're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm doing this extra miles, I ain't trying to get my ass beat, and you're just looking at this person. You literally become like a borderline stalker, because I'm like, what are you eating? What are you drinking? Who's by you? All right, I got stalking tendencies, but it's okay, because I'm going to beat your ass, but also, like, I need to know what you're doing.
So basically, the Burkinas are made for fucking boxing.
Okay, sure.
That stalker status.
You said that stalker status.
I know who's around you.
Oh, what did they say?
That's funny.
Something like that. I never heard that word, Burkina. I guess that's the first time I've ever been called that.
Because are you born and raised here in Albuquerque?
Yeah, because my father and everything. Because of we're Puerto Rican, and then my mother's native.
Right.
So that's why I go by Pueblo Rican.
Which is clever as shit. Yeah. Whoever came up to that needs to get like a 10%. No,
let's pipe it down. Let's put it down. Right?
Did you come up with that, Pops?
Heck no. Actually, let's get this right. So like when my pops and everything, he's been his rap like phase, whatever, and his crew and them and stuff like that. I was little and stuff like that, and they'd be like, "Little Miss Pueblo Rican, da 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 in the house," and I was just like, I was so annoyed because they always call me that and everything. And then eventually when I had the Instagram and stuff like that, it was like, put a unique name. And I was like, Puerto Rican, that's me. Like, that's literally representing both sides of who I am. And it just came from that. And my pops was like, trademark it.
Oh, yeah, you came up with it. You're the first one to put it to paper.
Yeah,
she put it to paper, but how the name came about is Thurston Howell III had a rap song called Polo Rican, because he's wearing a lot of polo in Puerto Rican. So it's Pueblo Rican. So we used to joke around her, Miss Pueblo Rican.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was a little girl just in there here. I'm like, you're like so annoyed. And I'm like, everyone was like, shut up already and everything like that. Every time I come in, and now I'm like, hey, it was kind of smart though.
Yeah, they're going to start screaming that in arenas here in a few years. Yeah. So you better get used to it.
And then my name's already like, it's kind of funny because they're like, my name's like Sharahya-Taina. So they're like, oh, what's the short name? I'm like, shoot, you want to call me Taina, Sharahya, Puerto Rican? I don't really know because each one's unique.
Dude, whenever you have to do interviews for your fights, do you have to like tell the people beforehand how to pronounce your name properly? And is that ever a pain in the ass? Not to ask you a stupid basic question like that, but
no, I get used to it and everything like that. Like even like when I was in school and stuff like that, people would just be like, the teachers would be like, and everyone's like, it's Sharahya, and I was like, thank you guys. So after a while, I'm just like, it's whatever. And plus, like, it always brings up like an interesting topic, story, and people end up liking it because they didn't hear it or they want to know the meaning behind it, or some people just like saying it. I'm like, okay, go out then.
That's not a bad problem to have.
Yeah, so I was like, it's nice. It has a ring to it, and it gives me like that one of kind type of feature, Because if you have that name, people are like, oh, I know her. Like, not trying to be mean. There's 100 Bens, and they're like, Ben who?
Yeah. No, it's extremely unique.
Thank you.
Extremely unique.
Give it credit to the father. Just kidding.
Very unique name. When did you first get exposed to boxing?
Let me clear my throat out. Let's get started. Let's get some water real quick. Okay, I'm just kidding. No, I just really had I was just thirsty. No, when I got into boxing and stuff like that, I hated it. I didn't want to do it because my father used to go to the gym. I used to be the San Jose Community Center. So he always used to train there, and I always be around it. And I saw them train. I just did not like it. And then, this sounds so cliche. I got in trouble. I was at school, and I thought I was, like, a little badass and everything because the school I went to was, like, a bunch of cholas and everything, and I'm Puerto Rican. And everyone was, like, and I used to play basketball, and I was very, like, just very tomboyish, kind of raised by my father, And the girls would be like, oh, you're just trying to take my man? I was like, no, I wasn't even liking anybody like that. I was just
How old are you at this point?
Like 12, 13, To me, like, I wasn't even thinking nothing like that. I always been very, like, athletic. I just like to play, like, basketball. And to me, basketball was, like, my passion, And so I was playing basketball. And then one time we got in trouble and stuff like that because I was fighting and everything. And I was just walking. And then the police, I was like, come here. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. He saw, is this you in the video? I'm like, nah, that ain't me. He's like, that's crazy because you're the only one with this bright pink backpack. Yeah, that's not me. And I'm still wearing it. I'm like, yeah, that's not me. He's all, come here. And he's all, so we went to, I got in trouble and they called my pops and everything. And he's all, oh, so you think you're a badass fighting? I was like, well, yeah, because I'm beating up these cholas. So, yeah. And he's all, all right, we'll see how badass you really are. We're going to go to the gym. And I said, what do you mean the gym? And he said, the boxing gym. I looked at him, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to get my ass beat today. Today's the day I'm getting my ass beat. And I was like, oh, I don't have a mouthpiece. He said, okay, here's some tissue. Put it in your mouth. I was like, tissue? I was like, I don't even got no gloves. Here's some cheap gloves. We got you. And I was like, dude, today I'm getting my ass beat. I was sweating going in there. Because I see this one girl. She's like about 25, bulky as heck. I'm looking at the scrawny looking. I was like, okay, I see this girl. She's getting ready for a pro debut. I'm getting my ass beat today. We're just going to have to take it today. And then he's like, get in the ring. I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And I was just like, I was literally fighting off fear. And I was just trying to keep her off me, moving around, trying to get hit. And they're like, and then all the coaches were like, has she done this before? I was like, no, I'm just scared. I just don't want to get hit. And he's like, all right, you're staying in this. I was like, what the fuck? And he's, I was like, no, I'm good. I see how you guys train. I'm good. He's like, no, you're coming with me on these runs and train. I was like, runs? What are you talking about running? I don't like to run like that. And ever since then, it's been a story. It was like really a disciplinary. And then I started getting into it and I was like, now it's kind of like, I actually don't get in trouble for beating people up. This is kind of nice. And that's when I met Johnny. And then Johnny Toppy took over and stuff like that. I went to his gym. And he hated women's boxing. Like, women's boxing, he was just like, women are too pretty to box. No. And that's how I got connected with Teresa Tapia and then Josh Torres. And then that's like how our family grew. And then when that gym died, my dad took over full time.
So that's a crazy name drop for people who don't know boxing. Johnny Tapia is not only just like a local legend, but he's a worldwide phenomenon from when he was boxing. And when I hear something like that, what got you into boxing? Sure, you got to learn a lesson that day, and I'm sure your father helped you learn that lesson. But then on the same side, I mean, and that's kind of what I don't like about the way Albuquerque's going right now, is there aren't a lot of community centers anymore, and the ones that are active aren't that well funded. Yeah. And that is the number one way, statistically, across the country. There are very little common denominators in this country anymore. But the number one way to keep children, teenagers, young adults, to keep them out of trouble is to fill their time.
Yeah.
Just to fill their time, 110%. And so he probably saw this, like, okay, well, if she doesn't do something with her spare time and with all this pent-up teenager anger she's got, this is going to be a real issue. Boxing, I mean, martial arts for me is that weightlifting is what I always advocate for with people. Like I'm not a parent, but I would imagine that's a part of his brain that started activating. It's like, okay, we need to fill her time with something wholesome, right? Something that's worthwhile, and it's gonna keep you in fucking phenomenal shape.
Yeah, no, it does. There's like, you could run, you could do all the cardio, weightlifting, but there's nothing like being in that boxing shape and everything. That's why I hate when I take time off. People are like, you need to rest, you need to chill out. And then I'm like, no, because once you get out, it's hard. Like, even like, no matter how many weeks of training, you're going to get tired. It's nothing to compare to. Like, people think they're in shape until they step in that ring and then you go and run around and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, everyone's got a plan to get punched in the face.
Yeah, some people think they could dish it out. they can dish it out, but can you take it too and still come back?
Right.
What happens when you're in that round and you're desperate and you like feel like you had nothing in that gas tank? Can you go with those extra 5 rounds and pull something out your fucking ass? Because sometimes people don't think about that. Like, oh yeah, I need to punch more. I'm looking like, how much you fucking punch more? The fuck? I just did. Right. You see how many rounds I just did and how many punches I did? That ain't easy.
What I think is funny is because I did not ever do boxing to the level that you guys do it, obviously, but I did boxing my senior year of high school and then to college a little bit. And a buddy of mine, I said that same exact thing because he was watching his sport. I was like, why don't you just keep your hands up? Why don't you just keep this hand? I'm like, okay, dude. So this is basically what we're going to do. And I remember we were at the gym on a Saturday and we were weightlifting. And I was like, hey, so remember that thing you said yesterday about keeping your hands up? So hold your hands up like this for 5 minutes. And he was done by like minute 3. I was like, my point exactly, dude.
Exactly.
It's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, and you're gonna get hit no matter what. So
and you're getting punched in the face.
I hate when like even there's certain coaches because everybody has their own style. Like, keep your hands up right here. I'm like, what? What about my body? What about my defense? What about like, hello? Like, yeah, I can keep my hands up here, but also like, it's just I just hate that saying when you go to coaches and stuff like that, and they're like, keep your hands up this high. I'm like, what? So I'm gonna look like a robot and everything. Like I need to move my head too. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. It takes a lot.
Well, there's a million ways to like skin that cat, and I'd imagine that having your dad with you through this whole journey, having that consistency in training has like really helped you to get where you're at right now.
Yeah.
What was the first in your like looking back on? So when did you start like consistently boxing, like consistently training?
Well, right after that, when we met Johnny and stuff like that, I had my first nationals. Like my first fight was a national tournament and everything.
How old were you?
13, right? Yeah, I was 13, and Jesus. It was like they had a thing in Arizona. It was like supposed to be because I'm Native, so they had like a Native American national tournament. You win that, you go to the Ringside World Championship, and so my first fight, and I was like, I was nervous as shit, you know, and I went in there and I won, and I stopped the girl in the first round. I was so hyped, like. Every time I see that interview, I get so embarrassed because the way I was so, like, cocky but confident. I was like, yeah, not many could do this. Nationals, you know, I stopped her, you know. And I was just like, what the hell, Sharahya? Okay. And after that, I was like, I kind of like this. So let's do it. And ever since then, it's just been a story. And then that's about 2 years when I turned, like, 15. That's when we found out how you can make Team USA. I didn't know about anything like that. I just thought you could just, like, fight locally. I didn't know about this whole national level, like, going Team USA and stuff like that. Until my pops met one of the members and stuff like that, going out. And then he told me, yeah, we're going to do this in December. And I was like, okay, whatever. And ever since then, that's how I made the national team, competing for there every December. And then I made the team when I was like 17. And then I went to India for the Women's World Championships. And that's why I love the boxing, because it takes me literally across the country and the world. So what can you not like?
It takes you across the world because you're good.
Yeah, hype me up. I'm just kidding. Hype me up.
No, let's not forget that. Well, because there's everyone, no matter what the, let's say the genre of entertainment, right? Whether it's sports, whether it's music, comedy, whatever looks easy from the outside because of social media. Because you only see that, like you were just saying a little bit earlier, you only really see the highlights. Yeah. But then people don't see the work you're having to put in, the years it's taking, and then say, hey, yeah, it's a clear path. Even if there is a clear path, I can do da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then I'm a world famous boxer. It's like, no, okay, but what is in that gap that you're clearly overlooking? And a lot of that is it's natural skill and talent. I mean, the first time you stepped in a ring, you're just trying to get your ass whooped, and they're like, hey, she's really good at avoiding punches. Yeah, we should probably lean into that.
And then after that, after like Johnny Toppy died and the gym kind of fell apart and everything, we didn't have a gym to go to, so we had to do everything out of our backyard. So my pops got 3 bags, put in our tiny, like, it's probably what, like the size of the half this living room here, and it was real small. And we just had the 3 bags. Even in the cold, when it's like, you could literally, like, we're working out, you can see the steam off us. And when we're sparring, you can see the steam off us and everything. And I made Team USA, and people don't see the background of, like, I didn't need the fancy, I didn't have no fancy equipment. I did everything outside, and that's where it got me. So it does speak a lot and stuff like that, because it took definitely a lot of hard work. My pops took a bunch of, like, payment loans to get me to these tournaments. And people just think, like, oh, I just got there and it's won it somehow, or no, it's hard. They don't see the background. And even to this day, like being a pro boxer, people don't see, they just assume like, oh, my first pro fight was like $1 million check and I'm just living like comfortably. Like, no, I'm still grinding now. I still had to have like a little part-time job while continuing my career until I get that more fights in.
Yeah, there's no it's not all going to come all at once. It's certainly not just one pro fight. And because people only see, when you think combat sports, especially boxing, you just think about prize fighters.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather, Tyson Fury, who, look, I am not the most educated on boxing. I love boxing. I'm not the most educated, but Francis Ngannou took that dude to fucking school. I'm sorry. He took him to fucking school. And I get it. Like, I get it, the WBC didn't want to immediately just give away the belt to a brand new, and for all intents and purposes, a brand new boxer, because Francis Ngannou made his worth in the UFC. I get it. But on the other hand, especially because, like, I watched the back half of that fight, I think Francis won.
It's okay, because I didn't even know, it sounds bad, because I don't even watch MMA or UFC like that, so I didn't even know who that guy was.
Really?
I didn't until he stepped in.
You did great.
He did. Oh, again, I'm not that educated on it,
Because I like Tyson Fury. I just love him as a person because he's funny. He's an entertainment. He knows his purpose in boxing because at the end of the day, we are entertainers. But when that fight came, I was like, who's he fighting? And my brother looked at me. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, how do you never know these people? I was like, I really don't. He's like, he's the hardest hitter. I was like, oh, he is? Oh, this makes why he has his fight and everything. I felt so dumb. But then I watched it. It was really good.
His I think it's his right hook. He has the record for the heaviest hitting punch, and it's the equivalent of getting hit by a Ford Focus going 35 miles an hour. What?
That's what my pops told me. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I wouldn't even sign that. I'm like, we're good. But no, for him to come that, like, especially against Tyson Fury, like, it's Tyson fucking Fury.
Yeah.
He's you see how big that guy is? And the way he boxes and everything, he's a definition of don't judge a book by its cover. People assume the athlete's life is supposed to be super fit and all strong like the Deontay Wilder. But look at how he boxes. And for him to even, like, go against Tyson Fury and did what he did, I was like, all right, you're the real deal. Let's give you your crown. Let's give you a popcorn.
I'll never forget watching Tyson Fury get knocked down by Deontay Wilder and then just pops back up like the fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
Our homie Steve is the first one to put him down, though. Steve Cunningham. He's the first person to ever put Tyson Fury down. He's a good friend of mine.
No shit.
I did not know that, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he moved up to heavyweight from 190 pounds. First heavyweight fight was against Tyson Fury in the Garden. He put him on his ass.
How long ago was that?
It's about in 2017, 2018, give or take.
Stephen Cunningham.
SS Cunningham from Philadelphia.
Oh,
yeah, he's a really good guy. He comes to, like, even like the fights, he's number one cheering there. He's a good guy.
Do you find yourself, that's an interesting point. Do you find yourself starting, as you're getting ingrained in this world of boxing, like, it's a lot bigger than you thought it was?
Not really. Like, even though I, like, travel and stuff like that, everybody's connected somehow.
Yeah.
It's crazy because, like, you be thinking, I'm in New Mexico. How the fuck do people in New York know my business and everything? How the hell do people in another country know my business? Because, like, we're all in different places. We all have the same goal almost. So it's like everybody knows because, like, I'm telling you, like, that stalker tendency, we all want to know what you're doing, how you're getting there, what's making you this successful. And somehow we're just all from the coaches. And some of the coaches either, like, are cool enough or, like, they're teaching other coaches how to do better, and some are not. So, like, it's weird because everybody knows your business, so it's kind of, like, hard.
That's interesting to put it. How much does social media play into just your career in general?
Oh, it's a big factor, especially, like, in this generation when it comes to sponsors and stuff like that. That's how I get, like, extra sign money.
And you've got, like, big boy sponsors. Now, that's not talking shit about my sponsor. I love you, Zane. You're awesome. Thank you for sponsoring this podcast. I love you to death. Thank you very much. Buy the chili. But you've got, like, fucking Body Armor and not Adidas. Everlast. Thank you. Everlast, which is, like, the boxing, like, equipment brand, like, the brand.
I love them. Where's the camera? Heart. No, because I have a really good, like, bond with them because I met them. And especially my family being originally from New York and stuff like that. And when we went out there, I was like, because I got them to my manager, Adrian Clark. And Jolie Mazzone's my main manager. Adrian Clark is, like, the advisor, but he's also, like, a manager to me. And he has a good friendship because they manage, I don't know, Errol Spence?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So Errol Spence is, like, one of the biggest names out here in boxing. Besides, like, he just lost to Terrence Bud Crawford. And so he got that deal after the London Olympics, and then he hit me up with it, and I was like, hell yeah. First off, that's freaking Everlast. It's like the oldest industry in freaking any combat sport, And so I ended up having a good friendship with them. And even when I was out in New York, we did our photo shoot. And I was just like, I didn't think nothing most of it. I was just like, bro, I'm in the city. What's up? Where you guys at? And they're like, oh, thanks, Sharahya, hit me up. Let's get something going. And next, it's like, boom, boom, boom. And everyone's like, why am I getting texts of your daughter? I keep seeing her all over Everlast. I'm so sorry, guys. And so everything, they were like, oh, she really just became like the face of it. And I was like, oh, my bad, but shoot, thank you guys, Give me some more sponsors up in here.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, I love them. They're my favorite because they actually genuinely look after me and they make sure I'm good as a person. They're not just like, oh, something, because sometimes there's some like sponsors, you have to be careful. They'll be like, oh, you didn't post it, we didn't like this, we're not gonna post it. They're like, shoot, whatever, do whatever you want. We're here for you. High and low, let's go. So that's why I love them.
No, that's good. And especially today where censorship is a big thing. So to have a sponsor that actually takes care of you, doesn't like, because obviously there's some left and right limits on, but you're not stupid. Like you're not gonna put some stupid shit on your social media and get yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
So there's enough trust there. Like, yeah, she clearly cares about what she's doing, and we're gonna act in our own best interest by acting in her best interest, or because she's acting in her best interest.
No, social media is like a hate-love relationship. I love it because I could fool the media and people be like, they think they know what I'm doing. But reality, I have control to put what I want people to see. So that's the best thing, because people like to think they know you. I'm like, I'm just giving you like 10% what you think, but go off that, because at the end of the day, I'm the entertainer. So you're either gonna hate it or love it. As long as you're watching and buying these tickets, thank you. That's my ideal.
So going back to the beginning, you meet Johnny Tapia for the first time. And, I mean, did he tell you to your face, like, hey, I'm not a fan of women fighters?
Oh, heck yeah. Even my father was there. Because when I went straight to the gym, he tried to have me, like, sink or swim, because we had a special bond, because we both lost our mothers at 8 years old, and the incident and everything. So he was just, like, he was just drawn to the fact, like, how my father raised me by himself and our mother's situation. And he was just, like, he has a very caring, like, heart. So he was sensitive to that part. And then he was like, and when he told me that, I was like, okay. So he put me in with all the men off the back. And like I said, I was like, fuck, no one just wants to, like, they just want me to get my ass beat. And so I go in there. Even my father was like, I don't know, because these are like 20-year-old something men. And I'm like 13 at the time. Like, a couple times I did get my ass beat, you know, people who are been in there for years. But he just wanted to see if I was going to sink or swim. Like, if I was going to be like, all right, no, I'm not. But I'm very stubborn. I'm a very stubborn person when I want something. And I was like, oh, heck no. I'm going to be back here tomorrow. I'm getting my lick back. What do you think? He made me beat my ass, but I'm going to get him. I don't care how many times you're going to beat my ass, but I'm going to come back. And eventually they saw the growth. And then even my pop's like, I don't know. But I'm like, you know, like covering his eyes type, because like, and in the day, I am his baby girl. You know, I'm his daughter. No one wants to see their young daughter fighting the man, you know? And so I just kept coming back. And after that, the family grew very attached to me. We had a great bond, going to like family parties with them. And I love them to this day. They still like look after, and they always ask if I need anything. And after that, they literally just became family. And he just always made sure I was good. Like, he was a type, like everyone says is true. Like, if you have a shirt and you said, oh, I like your shirt on you, he'll take it off his back and just give it to you. Like, that was just how he was. He was very caring. And so it was very hard, and it was sad when that happened. But after that, it was just like history. Because
he passed in 2014, is that right?
2012.
Okay, 2012. There's a really good documentary on Tubi. It's called Absent. Have you heard of that?
No.
So it's about there's actual like clinical psychologists and like data collectors in this documentary talking about the effect of an absent father in someone's life. And so they have like the first like maybe third of it is just regular people that they interview, right? Just everyday people. And then they start going down into celebrities. And one of the celebrities they have a section on is Johnny Tapia.
Oh, wow.
And he's talking about like the absence of a father, how that affected his life, and then what happened to his mom. Like, I knew his mother had passed. I didn't know how. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not a story I'm going to retell, and people should really look into that if they so desire. But good Christ, what a brutal fucking story. Mm-hmm. Very sad story. And it falls in line with everything that people hate about this city, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But to hear him articulate it, because I want to say the documentary came out in like 2010, maybe, like 2010, maybe even 2009. So it was a few years before his passing. But to hear him articulate it and speak about it in the way that he did, it was very well spoken. And obviously a lot of reverence for his family but just hearing him talking about that is fucking. Yeah, it's bananas. How regularly were you working and being able to train under him? Because again, he's one of the most talented fighters, like period, especially of his time.
Yeah, we didn't get that much, only because I remember we started that gym like in February, like January, February, right? And then like it was very early when I met him, but the way we connected, it was instant, you know, like this instant family. And then he died in like May. Around my birthday time, because I was getting ready for that national.
So this was 2012.
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Because my birthday was in May, and he died around May, And then right after that was the national championship because they were going to come out there, and it just went. So it kind of sucked because it was very early. And I always met him because Josh Torres, he's like a brother to me, and that was his trainer because Josh got trained by Johnny. That like they had a special bond. Like that was Johnny's prodigy, you know, coming up. So I was always around Josh and everything in the gym. So that's how I got to know him too. And then he was training who was it? Diamond Boy. And that's who I spar, Matthew Gregorio. I think he has a belt now, right now. What belt is it he has?
There's a NABF belt.
An NABF belt, a really good person. Johnny was training under him, too. And so it was just like a whole franchise. There was just a bunch of people. I know I'm not naming on top right now. So it was just a nice, like, atmosphere because everyone was just family at that rate.
Okay. So it's 2012, you go to your first national fight. Where is that being held at again?
It was in Arizona.
Okay.
What was this? San Carlos, Arizona.
Okay, and you dropped that person in the first round.
Yeah.
First round, 13 years old. What is it like going back to the gym after that fight? Because you're going right back to work.
I don't remember very detailed, but I remember my father definitely playing into everybody and their baby mom up in there. Because I remember the gym. There was like the weight room and there was a TV and he kept showing it on replay, and then he made my pops loves to make edits after our fights and stuff like that. And it was kind of cool because he made a little documentary, which is crazy.
And I appreciate you putting all the footage on YouTube because I watched I want to get to it a little bit later, but I watched your fight in Atlantic City.
Oh, you did?
Which was fucking awesome. Oh, yeah.
Oh, dang.
Oh, yeah. I did a little bit of homework.
Okay.
I do a little bit of homework. Anyway, so as you're training and you're growing up, how often, especially because you're 23 right now?
24.
24. So as you're looking back at because you're fighting at a pretty high level at such an early age.
Yeah.
What footage from your career so far do you find is the most valuable?
Sorry, say it again.
What footage of your career so far do you think is the most valuable? Because again, I'd imagine growing up in combat sports, there's a lot of, let's say, a lot of the negatives whether it's in your technique, your skill, your movement, whatever it is, a lot of that's starting to drop off because again, you're literally growing up.
Yeah.
Like you're going through fucking puberty, you're getting bigger, like you're holding weight better. So like just a lot of the awkward and your mobility is starting to drop off. You know what I mean?
Oh, that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does in a weird way.
So when you're looking at your footage, what are you finding is what age is the most valuable to look at? And then what are you looking forward to improve in your footage?
It's crazy because one that stands out to me, I know I was really young, but it's so cool to me. Maybe you've seen it. Is the one I dropped one of the girls like in the first round, like was it like 12 seconds? That one was like pretty cool to me because I wanted to like compare that one to my first like 12-second droppage and then to my last one just to see like the improvement like in certain forces, like how it was like the right hand. I'm like, damn, maybe the right hand is kind of money, you know? But just seeing the girls from the training, because I see it in my body from like, how do you say, finding my style, finding what works for me. That's what the best part about the boxing and the traveling is because over the years, especially finding out here, like everybody has a certain style in boxing. Everyone here is very aggressive, forward movement. And then seeing how I used to fight when I was like 13, 15, I used to be just nonstop, blah, blah, blah. And then going from like 17, traveling the world, finding a Team USA, being very fundamental. And then after that, getting that fundamental stage out the way. And then going to a pro phase where you're sitting down more in the shots, not trying to rush your punches.
I was going to say, so define sitting down in the shots. What does that mean?
So that comes down to when it comes to amateur style boxing. So we got 3 rounds, 3 minutes. You're trying to score as many points as you can. What we say is like a combination of 4 to 5 punches is 1 point. So you're throwing. I always had a like really. I just throw a lot. So anybody who's seen me fight, they're like every time they're like, God damn, sure I slowed down. That was always my problem because like you're throwing so many punches, and then going to the pros like it's a hurt business more. Where now sitting down means like where you're literally sitting down in your shots, not throwing like 5 punches at a time, throwing 1-2 shots like the one hitter shotter. So maybe setting everything up more behind a jab so you can hit that one big home run and then move where you're just not, where in the amateur boxing, you're constantly moving, sir. 1, 2, 3, 5, move. 1, 2, move. 1, 2. So it's like a sprint. Where now, when you're in the pro boxing, is literally a marathon because you have to conserve your energy. Because now, the more in the pro, you're going 4, 6, 10, 12, you know? So now it's like a marathon, you're conserving your energy.
And in the pro fights, are those scored differently than an amateur fight?
Definitely they are. The amateur scenery is trying to get like the pros because now the pro, they count body shots, which is a big thing.
Do they not count body shots in amateur?
Fuck no. They try to act like they do, but like sometimes you see great amateurs throw beautiful combinations of the body, but all they're seeing, maybe because the judges are so tired because they're watching like 80 bouts a day or even more, all they're trying to see is who's landing that clean punch in that face, that square.
Is that...
Because you have the headgear.
Again, I'm not the most educated on boxing, but from an outside looking in, that sounds pretty counterintuitive. Because if you're teaching a fighter to only aim for the head, well, A, you're discounting, like, let's say 60% of where they could be hitting, right?
Yeah.
A. And B, talk about telegraphing your own hits. You're letting your opponent know, hey, I'm only going to punch you in the head. So if you just want to duck to the side and hit me in the kidney, go right ahead. Or hit me in the liver, go right ahead.
Yeah.
You want to hit me right in the diaphragm, go right ahead. Because it's gonna be completely open.
Yeah. And that's also kind of crazy when you think about it. That's how you're going to know when, like, there's promoters trying to sign somebody. If you see an amateur and they throw in a mean body shot and they stop them, they're like, yeah, they're ready for pros. Let's go. Let's sign you right now.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, rare to see in the amateur scene because we have the headgear. You don't see many people getting stoppages or KOs like that. Because in the pro, that counts everything. Maybe because, I think about it, maybe because you, sounds weird, but maybe because you see more of the body because we're like, the men don't have the shirt, so you could kind of like see where they're getting hit. We're compare like the amateur scene, we have like a full body outfit, so they don't even know if you're actually getting hit or not. It sounds weird to say, but when you kind of think about it, you're like, okay.
That is interesting. Huh. So, how do I word this question? So, does that open to a deficit in scoring with women's boxing compared to men's then?
Women's boxing is way different. That is way, because like now when the women's pro boxing, because we used to fight 3 minutes in the amateur scene, but when you go pro, you fight 2-minute rounds. So it's even like a more faster pace. People would think, oh, 2 minutes is chill. You know, you don't have that extra 3 minutes. And it's like, I personally love the 3 minutes because I got used to it because you're really sitting on your punches. And now when you're going the 2-minute rounds, you're kind of getting a little bit rushed. So it's kind of hard finding that balance of being very proper with your technique, sitting on them, and being at a fast pace because it goes so quick. Or the 3 minutes can either be like the longest 3 minutes because you're probably getting your ass beat or you're doing something good.
I was going to say, I feel like the 3-minute rounds reward whoever fighter is doing better in that fight, they get rewarded in those 3 minutes. Because if you're just, let's say it's round 8, a minute, 10 seconds in, and you are just landing bombs on somebody, they have nowhere to run. They've still got more than half the round left. If you're doing 2-minute rounds, hopefully they can survive for 50 seconds and then they're literally saved by the bell. So how are you changing your, you kind of talked on it a little bit, but if you're doing pro rounds of 2 minutes, how many rounds in a fight?
Right now for my pro, it's just 4 rounds.
4 rounds,
2 minutes.
2 minutes. That is not a lot of time.
No, so you had to get off the back. And sometimes it sucks because, like, imagine if I had that extra minute. Okay, like, you saw my fight when I dropped the girl. Imagine if I had that extra minute to really finish her.
I was going to say, because I wasn't really paying too much attention to the time. I was just watching, like, you as a fighter. That makes sense why that fight kind of went quick. I was a little surprised. It's like, this is Atlantic City
You have to go
Boardwalk.
off the back. There's no time to think. You had to hurry up and set your dominance off the back. Because by the time you're already halfway into the ring, that's 10 seconds in.
Yeah.
And then, oh, shit, boom. And then a minute, boom. You're like, that's my father. He's like, one thing he told me in the ring, all right, Sharahya, all I need from you is 8 minutes of perfection. 8 minutes of perfection to be great. Can you fucking do it? I was like, fuck. He said, we put all 6 weeks, 8 weeks into camp, but right now it's down to 8 minutes of perfection is what I need. I was like, damn, when you really think about it, like, that's all I have.
You're working on if you break it down like that, each week you're dedicating to a minute of performance, which is insane. How often or how many hours a week do you think you put into training, especially into a fight like that? How many hours a day are you in the gym when you're calculating in for? everything from your first warm-up to cardio, sparring, combination movements, and recovery.
You have to break into very like sections because we train like we used to overtrain, but maybe we still do. I don't know. We do 6 days a week. That's just how we are. So you gotta break down from like your morning, try to get out your runs or your cardio, whatever strength conditioning, and then go to your boxing. So like 3-4 hours a day of just training, and that's not even like recovery and other stuff you have to do. And sometimes the weekends are even longer because sometimes you're not even boxing just yet. You're just doing like basic like strategy homework, watching fights, watching your own footage, watching their footage, watching what you need to do to break down. So that's also comes into training because it's mind.
And doing a lot of running on your own time that's separate.
Yeah, that's what I said in the mornings because from the runs stuff like that. It all depends. Like after a while, it does get tiring on your feet because we already spend most of our life on our feet. Now we really got to spend other training session on your feet, making sure your movement's fast, your work like it's draining, but it's also like a weird torture that I like.
What are you telling yourself mentally when you wake up at like 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning to go run, and you're like, "Fuck this, dude! It's like 30 degrees outside. I am not trying to throw on my sweats and run for 4 or 5 miles."
That's what I'm saying. When you get that opponent and you know you actually got a date, it's just a different mentality because you're like, I'm not trying to get my ass beat.
Yeah.
So that's really what comes down to it. And I was like, in your head, you have to be like, are they doing this? Probably not, but I'm going to fucking do it because I want to be better than you. I'm going to do everything I can do to be 10 times better than you in every aspect of the way. That's what you're eating? Oh, you're eating like shit? Well, I'm going to make sure I eat even better now. Like, it just like, it sounds like, I don't know how the word saying, but you just want to be better than them in every aspect. So that's what it comes out because it's really how bad you want it. And that's what's going to make you that better fighter because you could have the best training equipment and everything in the world, but it comes down to you if you actually want to put that work or that overtime when it comes to your friends because it comes lonely. Like, hey, I want to go out. I'm like, nah, I can't because those 2-3 hours hanging out here doing something I can actually put more into my craft or recovery. Or that's why it gets lonely because it's boring sometimes. Even camps is like a little jail cell. You feel like because all you do is train, go home, sleep, repeat, and you really don't want distractions. And when it comes to like if you have a relationship or something like that, it takes a lot out of you because you don't want your emotions being so attacked. What if happens? Let's say if I was a serious like 10-year relationship and then breakup happens, and then I'm like I don't want to do this because they're like it's a mental fact. Half the time it's 90% mental like. In this boxing, and the rest is just physical.
Well, I feel like we were saying a bit earlier, that's a lot of individual sports, and 90%, well, a lot of it is mental. Mm-hmm. And even to the point where you can go through the motions and you can do your workouts and you can eat the right food, but if your mind is not connecting with your body, you're not going to get the most out of it.
Exactly.
Like that was the hardest thing for me to get over in weight training was the mind-muscle connection, how much that actually matters. So if you're just going through the motions and you think you're doing the right thing, again, you're not going to get the most out of it.
Mm-hmm. And then looking for Josh Torres, he's my trainer too, for like when it comes to strength and conditioning, he did a great job of like, he knows how to break me. And like, he's also like, when it comes to training, cause he's also a pro boxer, he knows exactly what he's doing and he's done the workout. So if I'm in there like, oh, I can't do a pull up, I can't do these up. No, yes you can. I'm like, no, you said 10? No, I can't. So, all right, well, I'm going to sit here all day till you get them fucking done. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't do. He's like, no, you can. And I'm like, I can't. And I'm crying. I'm literally doing certain workouts crying. And he's like, I'll show you. And I'm like, show me. And then he's doing the work. I was like, fuck, now I really got to do it. And he's like pushing where you're crying, you break down because it comes down to the fights where sometimes you have like that dark tunnel path where you literally feel like you're getting hit. It's 8-ounce gloves. It don't take that much to hurt somebody. And when you get hit with a shot and like that, you had to come to that breaking point like, damn, that did fucking hurt, you know? But I'm an entertainer and I was trying to win. So I had to like, fuck that shit. Let's get it.
I haven't actually thought about that before. So do you feel like some of the best coaches you've had have found a way to give you emotional training at the same time? Because, yeah, that's fair. You're getting punched in the fucking face for your job. And
also, like, what happens, you have a lot of people, fighters, you have a broken rib, a broken nose, your toes fucking fractured. I had a fight where, like, your hands literally fractured. Something's gonna break in a fight. Every fighter who goes into a fight has an injury, something happened. We don't talk about it. Yeah. But we just fight through it. We just learn how to like ignore it, and it's just something we have to do because we're entertainers.
Well, I remember watching. It's one of I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain is one of Dustin Poirier's first fights in the UFC, and he fractured his hand, his knuckle, and then going down his right hand. And he was telling his coach, he's like, "Yo, I think my fucking hand's broken, dude." And he's like, "All right, that's cool. You got 2 rounds left, so figure it out." It's like, what's the other option? You quit. It's already broken. We're gonna take you to the doctor. You gotta figure this shit out.
Yeah, nobody really thinks about that because they just see the aspect in fighting. But when it comes down to it, like I didn't like know about it when 8-ounce gloves. I'm like, oh yeah, like people was like, ooh, those hurt. I'm like, yeah, it may hurt too, but it also hurts punching someone on the bare bone too.
Yeah, I was gonna say those gloves are not to protect you; they protect the other fighter.
Exactly. And when you're actually in the ring and beating and like just beating on somebody, punching bones are hard to break, you know? So you're punching and that's your knuckle and it hurts.
Would you, it's kind of a side note here, but would you ever do bare knuckle fighting?
Fuck no.
Like that is the most insane fucking thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking shit because I would never do it. I'll be honest, like this wrist from being in the military is already fucked up. Like I could not imagine strapping up everything outside of what's arguably the most important between right here and then the connection here. I could not imagine exposing that and then going for what they do 5 rounds, right? 5 rounds of 2 minutes, something crazy like that. Like I remember watching like the aftermath pictures of Diego Sanchez. Good God. He got fucking brutalized in that fight. Yeah. He got chopped up like crazy.
But the crazy part about the whole bare knuckle part is actually more safer than boxing. Because it's really just cosmetic damage. Because when you think about it, when it comes to bare knuckle, once you get a cut, they're going to stop it. Once you get caught in boxing, they're going to put some Vaseline and stuff like that. And you're going to have to continue going. That's when they have a whole broken orbital bone. But when it's really just cosmetic. That's why it's actually safer to do the bare knuckle because they're going to stop it once it starts bleeding, once it gets chaotic. And you just got to somehow worry about your knuckles. They're going to get swollen because even with the boxing, your hands do get swollen. You just have a little bit more protection because you used to punching over and over. Where the boxing, when the bare knuckle, that's why you have it so fast paced and in and out the way. And you can recover like in a couple days.
Interesting.
You just had to worry about the swelling and stuff like that.
Huh. I never thought of it like that.
Because when a boxing, you're continually getting hit in the brain. You know,
yeah.
People, that's why a lot of doctors and some people, even the MMA fighters I talk to, they don't like doing the boxing or sparring because they don't want to get hit in the fucking head. That's why they get hit, like, kicked in the shins, the legs, the ribs. Because then in the day, your brain's the most important part, you know? So that's when it comes to the bare knuckle, it's easy to get cut because it's rubbing against bare skin.
Right.
That's why they stop it so quick.
Because, yeah, they're only, you're right, they are only really focusing on getting cut open. They can, I mean, you see how many fights, whether it's the UFC or it's boxing, where the head just starts swelling like a motherfucker. Like, oh, well, you're not bleeding.
Yeah.
So I think you're okay.
And a lot of times when it comes to boxing, it doesn't even look like that on the outside, but actually on the inside, you're like, what the fuck? You have internal bleeding here and all this stuff like that? And then sad stories come out.
Well, CTE is a real thing.
Exactly.
Have you seen, I think it's called Concussion with Will Smith?
I haven't seen it, but I heard of it.
Where they're talking about all this shit in the NFL and how they're covering it up and all that stuff. Because it's mind-boggling. That movie came out, I think, in like 2013. Or maybe a little earlier than that. But it's mind-boggling to me that a sport where dudes that are pushing 300, 320 pounds are crashing into each other like freight trains. And people look at it and think, what do you mean their brains are hurt? They have these metal pieces on their heads. Of course they're okay. Like, what the fuck?
No, it's not okay.
Yeah. So as it's like defensive training, and obviously I don't expect you to spill all the beans, but when you're training in your defense, what are you finding is your most challenging technique to apply to literally stop yourself from getting hit? What was like the biggest hump to get over? And I asked that just because you were talking about a little bit earlier how you were obviously because you're a novice fighter going into it, but because of the constraints of the structure of the fight, you're going really, really fast, like combination step away because you're only working with like 2 minutes. So defensively speaking, what was the biggest challenge to get through for you?
It's really hit or miss because sometimes your offense can be your defense. If you set up the punches right. But when it comes to defense wise, luckily I have my brother, because he's very skillful too, you know, and having.
Oh, congratulations, by the way, on your wild card spot on Team USA.
Thank you.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, congratulations on that. I meant to say that earlier. Congratulations.
Yeah, he's gonna get ready to leave because they have that coming up in 4 weeks in December in Louisiana. Because I did it in 2019 for the 2020. It's Olympic trials, so then him to do it is kind of a cool little duo because we both get to participate in this Olympic trials, but different years. But like, hey, we both did it, a brother sister duo. Not many could say.
Yeah, brother and sister, Olympic level fighters.
Yeah,
That is fucking crazy.
so it's kind of cool to see because it's like, hey, the DNA is strong in this boxing. Shit, we can fight.
So anyway, you said your brother is helping you box, helping you train.
Yeah, you know, he helps me on that part because he's a southpaw. He's good, fast. It's like, you know, genetics is a factor when it comes to men to have somebody stronger and faster and like keep you on your toes. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to get hit by him.
Yeah.
So like, and the more faster I get into that, and no offense, there's a lot of not females that could like fight as like men that are very skillful. Like there is hit or miss, but to have that, you always want to like be training with somebody who's either like better than you because you want to be 10 times better. So that's how I always do. And he grew so much as a fighter, and it's obviously to see him in the Olympic trials too, he's obviously doing something good at a high level where he's fighting at the 125-pound weight classes. And there's so much talent in that weight class. Anybody who's a boxing head and they see those names are like, holy fuck, this is the future of the boxing in the Olympics. Or when they go pro, these are the names you're going to be seeing on, like, billboards. So this is crazy. So, like, oh, shoot, I got a cheat code on my hands. Help me out. So that's what I like.
Yeah, and those lighter weight classes tend to be the scariest because they don't focus as much on. They're still weight cutting and they're still making your weight, but they're not absolutely killing themselves like a lot of other guys are who are like in the 180s and they got to drop down to 165 or 163, whatever that weight class is. Have you had to go through any major weight cuts so far? Like super crazy ones?
Only one when I was younger, like when I had to like drop like 10 pounds in one day, and that fucking sucked.
Okay. Oh, what the fuck?
I didn't say it like it was normal, right? It was not normal?
Well, that fucking
okay.
sucks. Oh, no, that's because that's 10 pounds. Maybe a quarter of one of those pounds is fat. Otherwise, you're just dropping water and salt from your body.
Yeah.
You're dehydrating. How old were you?
I was like 15, 16, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
When I was 15 or 16, I was finding out how cool Mountain Dew was. Like, what the fuck?
No, but it fucking sucked because I was doing also cross country at that time. And I just got out of training and they said, oh, we got to fight for you. But the girl was like, I forgot what weight she was. And I was like, I'm not even at that weight. And then my pops was like, how bad do you want to fight? And I was like, fuck, I really do want to fight because I haven't fought in a while. He said, well, we're going to be in the gym all night then. And when doing that whole session and then the next morning, because I couldn't drink no water. I had to sleep. No one talks about when you're fucking so dehydrated. It's so hard to sleep because
you can't.
Thirsty.
Well, because your body's like, hey, if we go to sleep, we might die.
Yeah.
We need water.
And I'm waking up in the morning, your stomach just shriveling and it hurts. And I'm like, we're driving to Los Lunas and I'm literally crying on the way to Wayne because all I want is some water. And you don't even want to talk because your mouth is like just gross because it's so dehydrated.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it fucking sucked. Like, my stomach hurt.
Well, what did you have to drop to?
I think it was because I was 145, so it was like 135.
Yeah.
And I came in at like 134.8 or something like that.
And how tall were you at the time?
Shit, I've always been a tall thing, so I was like 5'9", 5'10".
Fuck. So you're in. Obviously, it's a very unhealthy way to lose weight, but as you start dropping to 135, you're inching into like actually unhealthy weight. What did you have to do to lose all that weight?
I ran a shit ton for sure. I think I ran like 7 miles a day. Luckily, I had a long cross country practice because I knew the weight before I went into practice, and I was just doing the extra miles, and I had to put a bunch of Abilene on me, the sauna suit, jump rope, Epsom salt baths, and like the gym was hot, and we just stood there all day, like after every 30 minutes checking my weight to see how much more I had to lose, and then wearing a bunch of like blankets, going to sleep, making sure I was like in a hot bed pretty much, and it just sucked. And it even sounds gross. Even like you're gonna have to drink. One of the coaches like just drink some black coffee, get shit so the rest out in the morning. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, diuretics. Mm-hmm. That's real.
Yeah, like you're gonna cleanse your whole system. Like, yeah, I was clean out, but fuck, it sucked.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's nothing in me.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck.
So how are you doing? I'd imagine you're doing these in intervals. But what was the breakup like? And I only ask because you can't. Because I'd imagine if you just hit your your internal RPM so fast all at once, you're gonna A, burn yourself out, but then B, that's when you open yourself up to injury.
Yeah.
So how are you gaming this out when you're cutting? Because I'm fucking fascinated by this because 10 pounds is no fucking joke.
Oh no.
If you had to lose like 2, 3, maybe even 4, we start inching up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 pounds in one session.
First it's like I could do it, and then you start like I'm fucking dying. Like what the fuck? I have nothing in me. Like you're just going slow.
How are you maintaining without drinking water?
Oh, it sucked. With my cheat code, I was just literally eating gum to get like that saliva in my system, or like Jolly Ranchers to get some type of taste blood going in, spitting in a cup. It sounds crazy, but it works.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know a lot of wrestlers that have had to do that, and I know a couple of my buddies used to do wrestling, and where they didn't want to cheat on their diet, but they'd do that same thing. They'd have like a hard candy, and they'd just be spitting, or they would eat the food they wanted to eat, but then not swallow it. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Even I didn't do that when I was going through weight cuts. The fuck is wrong with you people?
It's a very unhealthy way, and I would never do that again.
Yeah.
But honestly, it fucking sucked and everything. But after that, I'm and the worst part about doing all of that, the girl showed up. She said, I don't want to fight you. And I was like, what the fuck? I said, I just did all that for nothing.
And you've got fucking eye bags drooping down.
Yeah,
you can't even
I was
stand.
Like, and I was so pissed because I was like, you made me drop all this fucking weight and everything. And I see the girl just walking around like it's nothing. And I'm just like, me and my pots were livid. We were so like.
So why did she drop out?
I don't
was
fucking know.
Was a reason even given?
All they said was like, oh, she got too many fights. You're the one that fucking called me out. Let's get this fucking right. You knew what you were signing up for in the get-go. You just thought I wasn't going to make it.
You had too many fights under your belt.
Yeah, but it was like, what, like 8 fights away from each other? It's an amateur scene. One thing you'll find in an amateur scene, a lot of people out here, I hate to be rude, y'all some pussies. Straight up. Because, like you, listen, if you want to be great, you're going to fight that person who has 100+ fights because you want to be better, right? And then some people are like, oh, I just want to protect my it's a fucking amateur scene. You're going to lose a couple fights.
Well, that's right. And, well, first of all, you can speak however the fuck you want to because you're an Olympic-level boxer. Like, I think you've earned the right to talk your shit, A. And B, I mean, I understand that from a coach's point of view and from a boxer's point of view, the self-preservation. I get it. But also, you are going into boxing. Self-preservation, it should be at the top of your list, but then you also have to accept the fact that, again, we've said before, you are going into a profession where your job is to avoid getting hit in the head as much as humanly possible. You're not going to have 100% batting average. Yeah. You're going to get fucking hit. You're going to get fucking hurt.
But one thing, maybe because I think of different, one thing Johnny did tell me, and I always sticks in my head, is just, yes, we get hit and stuff like that, but we're in boxing. The safest place I'm going to feel is in boxing. We have referees. We have officials. If it gets bad, they're going to stop it.
Well, you'd hope so.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you got to think about this. You live in fucking Albuquerque. You're going to walk down the street and probably get shot without even meaning to. Yep. I feel more safer in the boxing ring than being in my own city. It's that to fucking save. But it is what it is.
That's a fact. I was literally talking to one of my friends last night.
Sometimes you're just an innocent bystander, and half these people don't have guns and don't even know how to fucking shoot.
Yep. No, exactly. I was sitting right there playing video games last night, and I was like 11:30. I was like, huh, it's 11:30. I haven't heard any. Oh, there's the gunshots. There, like right on cue. It's like, oh, there we go.
Exactly.
Okay.
And once he told me that, it put a different perspective, and especially in the amateur scene, they stop it for the when you actually watch an amateur fight, they stop it for the most like simplest thing. That's why I didn't mean to like be rude, like saying pussy, but it's almost like you're in an amateur scene, you got your headgear, you got these big ass gloves. You're not a pro yet. Some of them are 12s, 10s. They're really compact.
I was gonna ask, how big are the gloves for an amateur fight?
They're like depending on the weight classes, but they're really compact. There's a lot of foam in them, so. It's not like where you're in pro boxing, one hitter, quitter, you might be on a stretcher or something like that. That's where it gets more serious. And it's only 3 rounds. You get your head snapped back, you're getting an 8 count. If it's too many hits, they're going to stop it. You know, they're not going to let you lay on the floor rolling around.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying, is how bad you want to get better.
So it sounds like, and again, this is coming from a very uneducated individual on actual boxing, but it sounds like a lot of the amateur fights are just elevated sparring.
Pretty much. It is. You get glorified and get a little trophy.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is. The only time I feel like it really counts is like if you're going to like a national tournament, these Olympic trials, to make Team USA. That's what makes a big difference. Other than that, like if it's local, like who gives a fuck if you win or lose? To be honest with you, it's just like glorified sparring. You get a trophy at the end of the day.
One question I've always had about this is like rising up in boxing is so your record, right? Who is making sure that your record is actually accurate?
No one.
Like, you know what I mean? And I ask that because not necessarily in the fact of like, oh, like you might have a coach who goes, yeah, my boxer has, he or she is 9-0, and you can only really find like 4 or 5 recorded fights.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that, but then it's like, oh yeah, no, yeah, my boxer is like trying to get somebody to qualify. It's like, yeah, my boxer's 6-2. But then
No,
you start.
I heard some dramatic stories like, yeah, we got 210 wins and like about 5 losses. Like every national tournament I've seen, you lost, so I don't know what you're talking about.
See, it's like hiding losses.
Yeah.
So who is like?
Or sometimes they'll put like, now we have what the box tricks, where they'll put more losses than you have wins. I'm like, I've been fighting since 2012. I know I have 100 times more wins than that.
Yeah.
So it's like when it comes, that's what I'm saying. Amateur boxing is just to build your resume. It really don't like it's good. It matters and it don't at the same time because the wins and losses don't matter. It really matters when like what national tournaments you're winning, what are you on the team?
Yeah.
What's the big ones? If it's just like little small ones, no one really cares.
Right. Because even trying to find like your record online, I found like 3 different records.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, well, obviously she's good. She's made the fucking Olympic team. But I want to know like a little bit of facts before I go into this fucking conversation.
Yeah, it's just all over the world. It's I don't know how to explain it. Boxing is weird like that. And it kind of sucks too because when it comes, now that you're a pro, it comes with that Floyd Mayweather effect. Everybody wants like that perfect 1-0. But I feel like that's more onto the men's side than the women's side because the woman, you could take a loss and come back and be a world champion, where the men, they're like, oh my God, no. But that's also why I love the MMA part because a lot of them have like, 5, 6, 7 losses, and the world champions, and their community loves them. In the boxing, you lose one fucking fight in this row, it's like, bye.
Well, and I feel like that's because, again, just my outside looking in with boxing, especially today, a lot of people like myself are just general consumers to I love watching boxing. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is you like watching the prize fights.
Yeah.
And the boxing federations, the boxing commissions, they know that. So like, okay, we love putting up these people where we can say, yeah, 50-0, 55-0, 60-1, whatever it is, and you can put up like the Deontay Wilders, the Tyson Furies, where no matter who walks out of that ring, you know it's going to be a fun fight to watch, but they focus on like, oh yeah, they're fighting for however many millions and this much money, but then you look at UFC and. Well, first of all, I think the branding of UFC is a lot better. I think Dana White has absolutely killed it.
They know how to market their fighters.
The marketing, exactly. The marketing, the branding. And it's like, well, you know that if they're going to do their fight, no matter who walks out of the cage, they're going to do a rematch 9 months, 10 months later. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, well, the sequel is almost guaranteed to be better than the first one. Mm-hmm. Almost every time. And then it's like, well, if the other guy wins, now we've got a trilogy fight. And that's where the money is. Yeah. So it's like almost like pro wrestling in that way, where it's like a storyline they're trying to build between these fighters, and I think that's why that community for UFC, or I guess MMA in general, they love watching people that have lost more than a couple times come back and fight. Like even when that's why her last win, Rose Namajunas, when she had won that last one, it was so big she had lost I think like 2 times beforehand. It's like people love watching their favorite fighters win and win and
They
win
love
and
that
win and
comeback
win.
story. And
Yeah.
I felt so bad because when in boxing, they suck at marketing. And I was like, I did think there was one podcast I was listening to was Terrence Budd and like a Joe Rogan one. And I felt so bad because it took him 10 years to get the recognition he deserved. He was like 35 years old finally. And it took him 10 years to get the Errol Spence fight and people to actually like give him the credit where it is due. And like, I don't know, it just sucks. It's like, damn, he really went on a journey, went through so many weight classes to finally people like, you are the real deal. Like, bro,
Right.
he's been the real deal. Give him his fucking credit.
Yeah, and because because I look at a story like that, it's at face value. My brain goes in two different directions. It's okay, yeah, a lot of people who are super talented takes them years and years and years because there's so many intangible variables that go into making somebody famous or making somebody well known, and I think a bit of that is the marketability. When can they become marketable, regardless of skill? And then the other side of it is the social media aspect that we've already talked about. Where it's like, well, how good are they at social media? What goes viral for them? What type of community do they have? And then, unfortunately, and you see this starting to seep into martial arts, specifically with somebody like Sean. Fucking what's his last name? Sean Strickland, right? Where you have these fighters that even align themselves politically one way or another. So it's like, okay, well, what type of community are they building? What type of political aisle are they going with? Can we market behind that? And Sean Strickland, I think, is an outlier because he's so impossibly right wing. But the UFC is like, we can make a storyline out of that. We can market out of this. It's funny to watch, and they can do that type of stuff.
I hate it. I'm just kidding. It's a hate-love relationship when it comes to it because, like, even when it comes to, like, this one social media guy, he told me, he saw, wow, I love the boxing, but, like, it just sucks because you guys don't market you guys self really well. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, I'd imagine as someone who clearly loves the sport, you want it to be about fighting. Mm-hmm. You want it to be about, hey, who is better,
It's crazy. You would think that, but then sometimes when it comes to, like, it sucks, signing is either, like, nowadays it's like, how many social media followers you got? Do you got the influence? Do you got the social? How are those view counts? All right, if that's up, then we'll sign you to this big deal. And then some of the people don't even be talented, and they have years of work in national. I'm like, what the fuck?
But they've got engagement. They've got followers.
Yeah.
They've got, hey, if we see person A wearing our shorts, how many people are going to be more likely to buy them?
Now it feels like more it's the Jake Paul effect.
Yes.
Which
right.
I actually love. It's a great thing because he did his thing. He's now like helping with the boxing. He helped Amanda Sariano make her first like real $1 million. Yeah. I see it from a business aspect, but sometimes it's just like, damn, these people are kind of ass. Where the fuck you find them? I know people are 10 times more talented, but I get it. They have the business part. You need that to like fund yourself too. So it's really like a hit or miss.
Have you ever seen? It's a show on Amazon. It's called The Boys.
Yes.
So
we all looked at each other.
So what I love about that, aside from the obvious, what I love about that show is how they depict Vought and how they depict picking the 7, which for people, if you haven't seen The Boys and you're watching this podcast,
and we just got done watching Genevieve.
Don't tell me because I need to watch the season finale.
Oh man,
I need to finish have you guys seen the finale?
Hell
okay,
yeah.
I know Homelander shows up, but I don't know the context. I don't know what's going on. Don't tell me, because that show. What I love about it is where, and I hate the character. I forget her fucking name. Ashley, the girl that pulls out her fucking hair when she's super stressed. I hate the character. I think the actress is amazing. But what I love about her character and then Vought in general is it's like, yeah, we're going to put on the front of how good these people are. But it's like, okay, well, how marketable are they? How good are they really? And then you have Homelander, who's becoming increasingly this fucking wild. Like, I think it was in season 3.
Well, but when you think about it, it's literally real life though.
We're
living that in real life. Like, I know so many people who are like really known. Like, I'm not gonna put names, but they be on HBO shows, they be on certain stuff like that, and they are shitty fucking people. Yeah. But the way they act on their social media, I'm like, you trying to be zen and all this, bitch? You is not zen. Let's calm down. Let's chill out with your fake crystals because you are a horrible person in real life.
Well, projection is everything, and that's exactly what The Boys shows the best. Like they, I think it was season 3 where they have the knockoff version of Daredevil, the guy who's blind, and he's like flipping around and jumping, and Homelander's like, huh, that's cool. so what happens if I do this? Boom! And smacks him on the side of the head, and he just starts bleeding. Everything. He goes deaf now. Like that's who these people are behind clothes. They don't care if you're like. They don't care like these people that are super up there, and they, for the most part, maybe this is a cynical way of looking at it, but these hyper famous people, at the end of the day, they don't fucking care about minorities or like the disabled, whatever, or the true like good message behind inclusion. It's just, okay, what can we market? What is going to push our stock up? What's going to make our shareholders happy? And what's going to keep generating money? Yeah. And that's what I kind of like. Not to go completely off track here, but that's what I kind of like about public perception now. Is I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to the bullshit, and that's why Disney stock is plummeting like crazy. Specifically, because like we don't want these movies, whether it's the Marvel stuff, whether it's the Disney reboots. Like, no one cares about who's in it. We just want good stories. Yeah. We just want really amazing stories with amazing people. Stop like
and someone could like relate to.
Exactly.
Because even like growing up when it comes to boxing things, or like what now the model industry is different. Like when you grow up with what used to be, not trying to be mean, but it used to be the basic blue eyes and blonde hair, and now being part of like say Everlast and certain like stuff like that. Me being Native and Puerto Rican, you don't see like Native Americans on certain things or billboards or advertisement. And now we have a different face, different background cultures, and people are like, wow, now there's so many people in the world. We're not all just that one little blonde hair, blue eyes. Now we have all this going on. Now little girls now looking up like, she could do that? She's from Albuquerque? She did that in the backyard? Oh, I could do it. Like, that's what gets you motivated, because you're also bringing in the next generation of a wave that could continue this for better.
And that's what I like about your marketing is you own your heritage, you know who you are, but you don't turn it into a caricature of yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like this cartoonishly exaggerated version of what it means to be Native American or what it means to be Puerto Rican. And that's what, like, I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine on the podcast, like, maybe it's like 2 months ago or so. Love this guy. His nickname is T-Baby. Fucking love this guy. And we were talking about inclusion, and the point of view I was bringing to him was like, yeah, it's cool that there's more like that there's more representation, but it's getting to the point where I don't think it's even representation. It's like exploiting these people. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, if we add enough black people, if we add enough gay people, if we add enough whatever, they're going to buy tickets. It's like, no, come on. Make a good story with these characters in it. Then people won't even mind. That, like, they're not going to make it a big thing. It's like, yeah, that's a great story, and these people happen to be insert whatever category these people are in. So, and like I was saying, like that's what I really like about your the way you bring it, or the way that you show the side of you on social media, because you just own who you are. Yeah. Which is exactly where it should be, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean,
no, it was really big like that. My father is really big on me like that. Even sometimes when it comes to like getting little stuff like getting dressed up or something like that, and he was like, "Is that you though?" And I'm like, "You're right." And he's like, "No."
In what way?
Like, he's like, sometimes like, I need to look a certain way, there's cameras. He's all, no, try to just be authentic and be you. The right people will gravitate and be by you. If that's how you have to feel to be looking a certain way, then you're not around the right people. And once you put that through your head, you're like, you're fucking right, because I'd rather have the right people around me than all the wrong ones. And me being true to myself and showing something like me talking about daily stuff might relate to somebody else back home. Like, I hate when people like put the perfect picture and all this stuff in the background, all these filters. I'm like, girl, that's not even you. Like, that is not you. Why are you trying to sell something that you're not even about? Like, and even when it comes to like certain managers, they were trying to have me like certain shows and stuff like that, like dating shows that I got opportunity to be on, a really famous one, and I was like, no. And he's like,
well, okay, wait, let's back up a little bit. Okay, so you had opportunities to go on. I'm assuming what's even I don't watch dating shows. What the like some shit on like the CW.
It was like a Netflix show and everything. I'm like, oh, it'd be great money, stuff like that. And you just gotta play the part. And I was like,
shit.
Listen, I might get canceled the first day because I know myself too well. Because I'm
What? You're gonna see on KRQE, local fighter goes on dating show and it shows why New Mexico does not get picked.
Yeah. Because I told him.
You looking at my fucking man?
No, literally, it's not even funny. Because at that point, I was just like, all right, I'm going to get straight to the point. You want me to be on a show and fake a fucking relationship? I can't do it.
Oh my
I'm so
God.
sorry. I can't do it. Because I'm going to be like this. Hey, if you single, you single. You with the bullshit, go on the right side. If you want to be on the married side, go on the left. If you BS, come right here. What's up? Like
They wouldn't even let you. You'd ruin an entire season's worth of
Yeah,
story in
I would.
5 minutes.
I know I would. Because I'd be like this. I'm like, weren't you just talking to me and calling me wifey? That's fucking crazy. You just told this girl, like, yo, Sharahya, play your part. Nah. No, come here. I need to talk to you real quick. Because I'm a very confrontational person. If I don't.
Good. I mean, you're a fighter.
Like
You should be.
If there's something about it, I'm going to let you know. I'm not the person to be like, if I see you and keep walking, I'm like, oh, you did this. Come here, baby boy. Let me talk to you real quick. We got some unfinished business. And I was like, yeah, see, I couldn't make it. They're like, Sharahya, it was nice. We got some good drama without you. But we need you to go because you're a little too feisty.
That is fucking hilarious. So, but on the flip side of that, and I appreciate the foresight both on your part and your father's part by not accepting, deals like that, because again, you didn't. It's already very obvious to me that you, before we even started this conversation, that you or you kept in boxing, not to become a fucking actor.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, right? But then the other thing to it as well is that probably could have been a ton of money. Would it have taken your career in a different spot or not? Who knows? Yeah. You probably would have gotten a couple thousand more Instagram followers, I'm sure. But then at the same time, it's like, well, what's the way that you're marketing yourself? How are you portraying yourself? Because like you just said, and everyone fucking, that's what I don't get about reality TV. It's not reality.
No,
it's so obviously scripted.
It's so fake, bro.
And
when I saw some of the stuff, I was like, what the fuck? I'm over here like, I'm watching this like thinking like, ooh, I'm gonna vote for it. Like, hold up, they're already home. I'm voting for something that's already like 6 months already aired out.
Right. Like they're not doing it live.
No, they're
not. And it's all scripted. And then so it's like, well, what type of character would you have been forced into being? Because at that point, if you say yes and you sign a contract, you got to do what they want.
It's also like, oh, do you want to be the bad guy? Are you ready for that to come? I'm like, shit.
You definitely would have been the heel. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You would not have been the baby face. You would have been the heel of that whole show.
Yeah, I already know. I'm like, yeah, we need
and then unfortunately, again, maybe this is the cynical part of me, but they would have been hiring you because like, oh, she's a female, she's a boxer, she's Native American and Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. That's going to make our shareholders so happy. Mm-hmm. We're going to get all these inclusion hires. And it's like, you don't want to fucking be that.
No.
You want to be hired for something. Like, let's say you do get hired for like because I know the Stars channel are doing a lot of combat sports type shows. Or maybe if HBO decides to make a good fucking combat sports show, what if you get hired for a show because of your skill?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, and I'm sure you've heard of it, how like on a lot of military projects, whether it's TV shows or movies, they'll have military advisors on set. So it's like, yeah, this is how they'd actually fight. This is how they maneuver. This is how they shoot their weapons. This is how they call out commands and stuff like that. Down the line, you've got a couple of Olympic fights under your belt. You're an extremely successful female fighter, and then they're making some fucking movie about it and making a TV show. They're like, oh, she's extremely knowledgeable. Let's throw $50,000 her way. Have her sit on set for 6 weeks and advise the fighters. Yeah. You didn't have to train them. You could just advise them.
That'd be amazing.
That sounds pretty fucking cool to me.
Yeah.
Cause that's a real thing. Mm-hmm. And I was saying like, yeah, you're not in front of the camera, and again, with the interview, like the small interviews that I've seen and the in your social media, it's clear to me you enjoy being in front of a camera. Mm-hmm. But I mean, hey, sitting back for a little bit, getting tens of thousands of dollars thrown at you to talk about a thing you love. That's a real thing, and it happens all the time. Mm-hmm. You don't think they had fighting advisors and boxing coaches on the Creed movies?
No, I know what I mean. Actually,
yeah.
No, that's pretty cool. Huh?
That ring was in our backyard.
Yeah, it was.
Wait. Say it again. What?
Tell them.
So the ring that was used in the Creed movie, they filmed some of it out here in New Mexico.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
The second Creed, when he goes like to Mexico to train in the movie. That ring was in Demi, my guy Sal's gym. But before he had that ring, we had that ring in our backyard. We bought the ring, and the guy was like, "Look, let me get the ring back because I'm gonna make more money, and then I'll give you I'll make you your own ring and get you some money back." So
That's
cool.
badass.
Yeah.
That's
So
fucking.
that ring was in our backyard before it was in that guy's gym, which was in the movie.
It is a small world, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I'm telling you.
Even the people that are in the movie, like advising, like you said, we know.
Yeah, my friend was in there, my friend Nat and everything, because she's from Philly, and they had her in there.
That's
like,
badass.
It's crazy how, like, little people, I was just, like, I kept, like, teasing her, like, so, Michael B. Jordan, he follows you now, so make sure you post me up, I was like, I saw he liked one of my boxing pictures, so what's up? But it's crazy how just, like, the boxing is, whoop, it's really one world.
Do you find yourself watching, like, combat sports movies, and you're like, that's not right. That's not right. Why are they fighting like that? Are you super nitpicky like that, or can you, like, remove yourself?
Some of them I definitely do. Sometimes we're like, okay, that was a little dramatic, or, like, certain, like, technique, or I'm like, maybe they should have been in the gym a lot longer, because that's a fucking jab. What the fuck is this? So, like, oh, okay, go off then. Usually I just like the stories. I don't really care for the fighting. That's about it.
That's fair.
Because after that, I was just like, okay, this is not realistic.
Well, and that's what I love. I haven't seen Creed 3 yet. But that's what I love about the first two Creed movies.
But I don't care. I like Creed. I like it because, like, the cinematic mode, like, the visuals, even, like, with the last one, some people don't like it, or, like, the boxing, like, that's not realistic. I was like, maybe to you, but when you're in that state of mind, Zen mode, like, one part, like, can I, like,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay. Like, him, like, them two being the only ones ring, and the way they, like, blocked it, that the whole crowd out and everything, because it really gets like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's so much screaming and everything going on, but you get in that mode where all you see is your opponent and nothing else. You don't hear anything. Everything blinks out. You might hear, like, your coach here and there, but it just comes. You're just in your own world. It feels like everything slows down in time, and it just, like, it's a surreal feeling. And I don't know how to explain it. And they nailed it to the part. And people are like, "That's so unrealistic. Why is it going slow mo? They look like they're in a different universe." Like, it's because you just have.
It's like, are they not though?
Exactly.
You would hope that your brain has the ability to zero in like that when the person across from you in the ring is trying to actively hurt you as much as humanly possible without going to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I actually just like Creed in general.
Well, because in the third one he's fighting Drago's kid, right? The Russian guy.
You talking about Creed?
That was the second one. That was the second one. Okay, no, the third one is with Jonathan Majors, where he comes out of prison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Well, the guy who made Creed 1 and 2 with Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, phenomenal director. He made the two Black Panther movies, but the first movie they did together came out in 2000. Because Black Panther was 2018. So this movie came out in 2013, I believe. It's called Fruitvale Station.
Yeah, that's how I actually knew who Michael Jordan was off that movie, because me and my father were watching it. He's like, "This is a good movie. Try you to watch it." Okay.
Really good.
And I was just like crying. I was like, "Suck it up, guy." I was like, and then after that, I was like, "Oh, Michael Jordan is." I know that guy, and so it's kind of cool seeing him, like, grow as an actor, even though he probably didn't know I exist. But, like, it's just cool to see, like, the progress, because I seen him off that movie first off. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, phenomenal movie. Mm-hmm. And Michael B. Jordan is one of the best actors around right now, which makes me very sad. He was treated. Did you ever watch the Fantastic Four movie he was in?
Yeah.
Oh my! I remember when that movie came out. Me and my buddies were seniors in high school, I think. Yeah, we were seniors in high school, and we went for my buddy's birthday. I said, "Yeah, dude, I'll buy your tickets. I can't wait for this fucking movie." They had all my dorky reasons for wanting to go see it. And I remember halfway through it, I turned to him and was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. I am sorry that I advocated for this movie. This is a pile of dog shit."
Yeah, they did him pretty dirty. He's worth more than that. Just kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, so when did you go fight in India? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, you did.
Holy fuck.
It was 2017 for the Women's World Championship. That was actually, like, the first year I made the team as a youth. So that was, like, the 17-18 youth division.
And how old were you?
17 made the team, 18 when I went out to India.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, so, and that was my first time, like, leaving the country, So we went to, like, a big place. We stopped in Germany, and then went to New Delhi. And I remember they had, like, during that time, India had a big old, like, pollution where the air was green. And so we couldn't go outside and stuff like that. So, and then we went to Guwahati, which is right, like, by Nepal. And so we were there. They were very strict on us because we're from the U.S. And it was just so funny to me because, like, all of us, because it was a girls' team, and we're all, like, Latinas, you know? We're all Latinas. And no one in sight looks like the ideal American. Like, we're just all Latinas, dark hair, tan skin, you feel me? So we're there, and everyone's like, yeah, Team Mexico! And I was just like...
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and all the people from India, they're like, yeah, you guys look like a bunch of J-Lo and Selenas. And I was just like...
Jesus.
And this is how everyone's speaking Spanish up in there, you know? So, and everyone's all cheering in Spanish, like, vamos! And I was like, yeah, Team Mexico! And we're just like, yeah, fuck it, we're just Team Mexico.
Yeah, Team Mexico, fuck it.
Let's go. You know, like, pretty much everyone was Mexican except me, and so, fuck it, we're Team Mexico up in here. But it was just funny, but it was also kind of cool, though, because it was a different, like, seniority, being very appreciated what we have from, like, the resources, like, the water, like we had to use this for our toothbrush and everything. We weren't allowed to use their water.
Right.
To get certain, get the buckets, bring it up, wash ourselves. Seeing how, like, when we went to the temples, how they use the children to, like, steal stuff from you, you know? And, like,
pickpocketers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we were there, the Team USA, like, the coordinators and the managers there were like, I don't care if your jewelry's fake or real, take it off before we get here. We do not need to see it, so... And then we had escorts.
Wait, back up. So who's telling you to take off jewelry?
Our Team USA manager.
Okay.
Because
fear of theft, I'm assuming, right?
So
and
because
like an actual assault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because where we were at was like in a little town. So it was in New Delhi. It was literally on the outskirts of Nepal, you know? So it was a really tiny town. And when we were there, we had to be escorted by their military.
Feel free to continue. I'm just going to check the cameras and stuff.
She was close to Burma. Within driving distance of Burma.
Yeah, so they had a big thing where they were like, they kidnap women and children right there in that area. I'm like, great, that's where the Women's World Championships at, you know? Yeah. So we had to have Team USA military and the India military escort us everywhere, even from the mall to the bathrooms. And even to like... Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. That was not a lot of space. I get paranoid. Okay, we're good. Okay, so you're having the military escort you, and I guess the Indian police.
Yeah, police and their military, like.
Yeah. So it's their military, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So even when we had to like go to the venue, we're in a big old bus, and they're like had their police are like escorting us everywhere, and it was pretty cool, but also like. Obviously can't have your freedom by yourself, you know, because anything can happen. So we were only allowed to eat the food that was in the hotel, or if it was like a certain dining.
Did you have to check in with the embassy down there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took a process. That was different for me because we had to do our visas, and it was like a 2-month process, and first time getting passport. It was pretty cool. And then we got to go to the temples, and that was a different scenery because we were more outside of the city. And then that's where you saw like all like not the like panhandlers, all the little kids trying to like, you know, like you see them and you feel bad. And they gave us that talk. If you see a little kid, ask for money, ignore them. I don't care how like bad looking they look, how poor they look, do not go to them. If you go to them, they tell us we will not see you again and we're not going to even try to find you. Yeah. Because that's out of our restriction.
And see what people don't understand. And I think the best way, not to get like extremely political about it, but one of the best ways I've heard it put in recent weeks, because of all the insanity that's going on right now between Israel and Hamas, is Ben Shapiro. I've been watching his coverage of it. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways he explained different mindsets, he was like, there's this Western privilege that Americans have seeped into over the last 50 years. And it's that we think, because of how our society runs, with all its faults, with how our society runs, we believe that the world thinks the way we do. Mm-hmm. They have the same general moral compass, that they have the same outlook on life, that type of stuff. And the fact of the matter is they don't. Mm-hmm. Not everyone thinks in the same way Americans do. So with that being said, you know, for some people listening, it could be hard for them to wrap their heads around the fact that they could use children to get you away from a crowd. you get kidnapped, and they never do see you again. That's just how that is how evil in the world works.
Yeah.
There are some people in the world that are just evil.
Yeah.
That are just not good people. They're evil. They're bad because I know a lot of people, again, in the West, they're like, well, if people do bad things, it's because like they were forced into the situation, or that's just, it's because they're in a desperate situation. It's like, no, there are some people, unfortunately, that live in a culture of violence and a culture of evil, and that is all they know. You can't reckon with it. You can't negotiate with it. You can't talk your way out of it. It's just unfortunately how some people are molded and made from the jump. So I'm sure that was, again, you said you were 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd imagine as a young 18-year-old, that's kind of jarring getting told by American officials, hey, listen, you basically act against your own instinct for the next, how long were you out there for?
I think 2.5 weeks.
Okay, yeah. So the next 2.5 weeks, just kind of shut that part of you off. The part of you that kind of gives a shit about people that are in a less situation than you, turn that away. Just don't do it because, again, you could get real fucked up.
Yeah. And it also just gave me like a wake up call to a lot of things, and coming back here, it's from like the littlest things you would think of, like having a drink. Like we kind of had everything open. You like, when you come to America, you're like, oh, I want ice water, all this, and like little stuff that we can't have out there. And then what we have here, I was like, damn. Like, yeah, sometimes it sucks, certain situations in America, but damn, we're really living. Like, it's actually easier to get certain jobs you think about, just little bit things. And it was kind of like a good wake up call for me to appreciate the little stuff we have, because I was like, damn, a lot of people, these third world countries, it fucking sucks.
Like, their life is actually bad.
Actually,
life can be bad here.
Yeah,
life
like,
definitely can be hard and can be bad here.
And a lot of times these people, they don't have a fucking choice.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, yeah, I'm very privileged. I'm very sorry about everything I've done. Like, come back to my phone situation. I'm like, I'm very sorry. Like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, that's a good experience to have at that age. Like, that's a very formidable experience to help you form a healthy mindset. If you don't mind me asking, are you a religious person at all? And I just ask because going overseas and going to see because over there they have like actual religious institutions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like physical buildings.
Yeah, they did, because even when we went in the temple, they're like, take your shoes off. You need the water. You need to wash yourself. And like one of the girls were there. She's like, I don't want to because this looks gross. The water looks gross. And then they're just like, she was kind of just rude, Yeah. And I was just like, this is their ways, bro. Like, have some fucking respect. Yeah. And then like, if you don't want to, stay in the bus. No one told you to come out. And I was like, shit, let me take my shoes off. I'm going to be part of this culture. What's up? Like, I wanted to get the full experience. I didn't care in that moment because I love knowing about other people's cultures, knowing the way they work, why, and everything. Because I like to learn new things. I want to learn. So I just went with the flow. So when it comes to religious purpose, I'm like, I wouldn't have like a basic set. Like, I'm not Christian or Catholic or anything like that. But I definitely have my own. We have our own. We wouldn't even call it religion. What would you try to say?
Just us.
It's just, yeah.
It's our culture, who he is.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I do believe in a higher belief. I do pray, but I don't really get really too into it,
Yeah. No, and that's fine.
We're not by an institution. We're not fired by. We're not influenced by a doctrine. You know what I'm saying? We know who we are, and we celebrate who he is.
And plus,
the higher power.
And me being like, even when I signed your paper, when I was doing your paper, like, we were like, what do you like to do, hobbies? Like, what would you be your career? Like, I would love to be an archaeologist because I love history. I love traveling the world. That's something that I love to do. That's when it comes to, like, certain stuff like that, Christian Catholic stuff. I get really into it because me being native Puerto Rican, when we want to start talking about Spanish and colonizers, I start getting real into it. So I'm like, to me, it's like, why?
Well, and that can be a beautiful thing with your boxing career, is that as it continues to take you around the world, you see new things like that, and quite frankly, as you become more successful and you get more money, you can have access to things like that, where you can go around, you can travel, and you see, experience new things, and that's what I think is interesting about going, because like in America, like I think it's mostly for the Catholics, where we have like actual churches and like bigger, like classically designed religious buildings, because now if you walk into the average Christian church right now, It's like you're going to the movie theater.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're going to the a concert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing really distinguished that makes
to me, it's
religious.
It's just weird now because I actually do read a lot of the Bible scriptures. My father is really onto us, and I do go by certain scriptures. And to me, just like a lot of people want to praise, like, I don't know, they're Christian Catholic, but they're not even really following their commandments to the littlest things, like eating pork. It literally tells you not to eat it. Why are you eating it? It's like you're talking about, you always want to come about people being all this stuff, and you can't even follow your 10 commandments.
Right.
So, like, I don't want to hear it if you're out here praising a fucking concert.
Well, and that's what, because I'm myself a Christian, but that's what's kind of driven me away from the modern church today. Because when I go, and I was just having this conversation with somebody that had on the podcast this past week, when I go to church, I go there, like, I'm going in there with the acknowledgement and the knowing that I believe God is great, Jesus is awesome, I believe in the tenets of my own religion. I don't need to go to church and get told that. I know that going into it. I want to learn something. Like, I want to actually, how does the scripture apply to today? How can it apply to my life? What's something I didn't know about my own, something like that. I want to actually go and learn something. I'm a history person as well. So I want to learn something. And a lot of, I call them like TikTok pastors. They all get filmed because and scripture should be, or not scripture, sermons should be filmed so you can put online. I get that. But then they film it for this like 30 to 90 second clip that they hope goes viral and brings them some sort of fame and some sort of vanity project that goes directly against what they're preaching.
Yeah.
So it's like, but on the flip side of that, and the original reason why I asked you the question is, I think it's good to be experienced the earlier that you can get it. I think it's good for you to get the experience and then get exposed to other cultures, other religions, again, as early as you can get it, but then also to actually go there and like be a part of it. And you're exactly right. And it's, instead of just staying in the bus, or especially certainly not just going in there and saying, I'm not going to do this thing. It's like, no, immerse yourself a little bit, remove yourself from who you are, and see how these people live. Because 9 times, especially coming from America, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get some humility out of it. Yeah. Which a lot of Americans need.
Yeah. And was it saying, I saw something like, you're not always right. I want to hear why I'm wrong. I want to hear why. Like, I'm open to hear, like, why you work the way you do, why you follow it. There's certain reasons, because sometimes low-key is always tied down to some, like, almost the one same belief without even realizing it. We all have some higher power, but we just all call it something else. And I don't know. Last time I went to a church, I just felt like I was getting yelled at. Someone was trying to. So I was just like, I didn't know if this was like a witch doctor up in here. I was like,
getting yelled at.
I was like, oh, okay. Like, I've been to a lot of churches, but the ones recently, because when I went to the churches with my grandfather and my grandma, it was like, I felt like a family community. Everybody know each other. And now I went to these churches, it's like, shit, DJ Khaled gonna come in this motherfucker? Shit. I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know we get turned in church like this. And everyone's yelling at you and telling, you need to do this. No. I'm like, shit, you need to do this and follow your own shit. Why you coming at me? So I don't know. It's a different aspect now.
No, I agree. And you brought up a little bit earlier how you're training with people that are better than you. You're training with men. And you should never be, like, generally speaking, to extrapolate that out, you should never be the smartest person in your own room.
Yeah.
If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to go find a different room to be in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's the perfect mindset for really anything, right? Whether it's fighting, whether it's learning new things. Because I think the openness to education is something that's a bit lost, and that's what's going to give you longevity, especially in combat sports. That's what's going to give you longevity. Because why don't you want more tools in your toolbox, but also why don't you want more ways to protect yourself? Yeah. And to dominate.
Like, I like to surround myself with people who are, like, better than me in a way, I could say, or have more knowledge, because I want to learn. I just want to learn. I just want to know what makes you you. If I see somebody who's, like, say, financially in a great position, I'm like, so, pick your brain. Like, how did you do this? Like, I want to learn. Even comes to the podcast, I'm like, yo, how did you do this? Like, there's always room to learn something, not in just in boxing, because sometimes it could be connected to and shit. It can help you out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really interesting to me. I never want to be like, I know it all. No, I'm like, I don't fucking know it all.
Well, that's how you cut a career short. A, but B, I mean, you're obviously very talented and you're a great fighter, but wouldn't it be kind of depressing if this was the best you're ever going to get right now? You know what I mean? Like to peak, like, I think the most generic way to look at it is like the people that peaked in high school, like that was the best they're ever going to be, and now they're just trying to ride off of that nonsense. But imagine you right now as a 24-year-old, and this is the best your life is ever going to get. This is the best you're ever going to be in the thing that you love. I mean, where's the drive to go forward if better is right now?
That's crazy to think, but also I'm like, definitely not my better.
No.
So yeah.
Exactly, because you're not in that spot. Exactly. But
Yeah.
imagine if you were. Like that would be a horrible place to be in.
Yeah, that was because there is people like that. I guess I never thought about that in that point of view. So
you move on from India. What is the next major fight after that?
what was after that? The Olympic trials.
Okay.
Because that was after that I was getting ready to go on my elite debut. Get ready for that set. So elite is when you're like you fight from the age range from 18 to 40. Yeah.
What?
You set out your first year for elite to finish school. And then you did
Because I came back from India and they had the nationals in December because it was in November when I was in India, and I wanted to do it but I couldn't also because I came back from India and I also wasn't feeling. My boss was like, no. First off, you need to get your time adjusted, and we have a whole nother year. You have time, so I took that one.
Or
off.
are you still in high school at this point?
Yeah.
Fuck. So you're like, hey guys, so have fun doing finals. I'm gonna go to India.
Yeah. That's literally what happened. I came back, was gone, and it sucked because like I had to like, change out of public schools and go to like an online school and stuff like that
Yeah.
because they're not gonna work your schedule. Once I hit like 10 days of like not showing up because I was in training camps and stuff like that, and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna file you. Your daughter needs to be in school. If not, we're gonna come for your father. Oh shit! So that's how to do like online.
CYFD even showed up.
Yeah.
No, for real. They would have.
They were just like, where's your daughter at? Because I guess we had a new counselor. Fucking hate this counselor. Because she called CYFD on my father.
Right.
Because I guess she didn't know I was a boxer and I was gone. I was in Colorado Springs so I was gone for over 10 days.
And I'm assuming you were 17 at this point.
Yeah, and I came back and I had like a black eye and stuff like that. So she's probably like,
So yeah, we had a student disappear for under 2 weeks, came back with bruises and a black eye.
yeah, and they came in. It was so like ding ding ding. Oh, so what you watching? I'm all Mila Familia on TV. Making sure my room's hella fucking clean. Everything's fucking next level so they don't fucking come for your ass. I'm like, And they talk to you just like, so, do you feel safe here? Yeah, why? And they're like, oh, so we just had some incidents. Okay, I was like, oh, I hope you know I'm a boxer, right? Like, I'll show you. We had to go show my trophy room and everything and let them know why. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm never coming back to this fucking school ever again. Fuck y'all, I'm out.
Well, because you look at that one of two ways, right? The one way you look at it is, hey, maybe they should have asked some questions before they called CYFD.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, do you want to live somewhere where the state agency isn't thorough?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you can look up CYFD New Mexico and just see a litany of cases and news stories where they fucked up left and right and missed so many things and walked over so many cases of families that were actually abusive to their kids and actually tortured their kids, right? So you hear all of that. So on the other hand, you kind of want them to be thorough. Like you would hope that they would show up and be like, yeah, okay, you've got a black eye and bruises. And you say you're a boxer? Okay, show me some evidence that you actually fight. Because then otherwise, that sounds like a great cover story from abusive parents.
Yeah, it does. We had to make sure to show like articles.
Yeah.
Why and when, like my confirmation of the flight. So make sure my pal was like this on the website. This is her right here. This is the fight.
And it's like, this is why she left school.
Yeah,
this is where we went.
You
want them.
Yeah.
She had written documents from USA Boxing for the Olympic Committee that we provided to the school, showing the date she was going to be gone, what she's gone.
Oh,
for.
so you had done your which I expect that you would, like as a someone with common sense, but B, as a father, you're doing your due diligence. The school just fucked themselves up.
Yeah, but they had everything in writing, so, you know what I mean? This is legitimate stuff. So, you know, she's in the newspaper. Newspaper did a front page of her going to India.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait, is this when you went to India or when we went to Colorado Springs?
Well,
we had to go to Colorado Springs.
And then qualify and then go out to...
No, you got to do a month of training in Colorado to get ready for
Yeah, to see if they want to select
so she
you.
was done, like, actually 6 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And then it also just sucked because, like the grades kind of went down because they weren't willing to work with me. So that's one reason I had to, like switch schools. And it just sucked because, like, you're chasing this dream, but you also your school and
education is important.
It is important.
Even though,
and then you're just like, fuck, you gotta balance it out. But at the time, maybe being the oldest, I didn't know like online and all this stuff was availability. I didn't know shit, you know.
Yeah.
With that part, but it was pretty cool, but also kind of sucked.
Yeah. What was training in Colorado like for that?
The first time I was.
What was was there a huge elevation change? Right.
For sparring.
6,000 plus.
Yeah.
Like I don't like it. It's a hit or miss. Like I think I felt it more when it came to sparring. You know, when it came to training and runs, I didn't really feel it because we actually do have a high elevation out here too, and there's certain parts in the mountains where we go run that are higher. So it wasn't too bad for me, but coming from like these other girls coming from like Ohio, Florida, low places, they were fucking dying.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it took a week to adjust. They're like drinking gallons of water so they don't get headaches. They're breathing hard, and I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, you okay, girl? Like, so to me, it wasn't too bad, you know, but I liked it. Training out there that first time, it was amazing. I felt invincible. Like, I was like, oh, I'm in supreme shape. I could do anything I want because it really does make you feel like that because you're getting the best training in you know the U.S. because you had the best of the best girls, the best athletes there. You're seeing the Olympic team from like swimming, basketball, wrestling. You're eating them with them at the dining table.
Oh, because the Olympic site is in Colorado Springs, right? Mm-hmm. And it's right across from the Air Force Academy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've never been, obviously, but I've seen the building driving up to Denver.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like you're already at dorm life, and you're you're staying there. You're seeing the same people 24/7. You're going to the dining room from breakfast, the showers.
What are they feeding you?
It's really good, but sometimes I feel like they have laxative in there because that shit would be cleaning you out. Everyone's there like, I swear there's laxative in here. There's a reason why we're losing so much weight here. Because like they all have it balanced. They have like, what do you want? Like if you have to cut weight, you have free food right there, and it's actually good. It's
so they had like strict meal plans for you guys,
depending on weight class, weight classes. If you're trying to like gain muscle mass or lose weight, that you got your dietitian, the nutritionist, you got a sports psychologist there. You have a whole fucking team there for you. So whatever you need. On dial.
That's badass.
Yeah, so and everything you eat, like even if you were to overeat, it's still good food for you.
Right. Well, because you're getting actual nutrition. Oh my! I can't speak. Nutrient dense foods. Mm-hmm. Like you're not just because and that's what I hate. Like I guess with like diet culture today, people, well, I could eat like my 350 calories of chicken and rice, but I mean like a McDonald's burger is only 300 calories, so isn't that better for you? It's like, no, bitch. that food has been frozen for the last 6 months, and they just heat it up in the microwave. You think every McDonald's burger is cooked on that grill? Come on now.
No, it's crazy, but
it's
also
gas, bad gas.
Huh?
It's an analogy of, do you want to put good gas in your car or bad gas in your car?
Exactly.
But
exactly.
And but it's also crazy to me because also being there and seeing like even come to like meal prepping and then being on the team and seeing their food, it was really just like food I eat on a daily home cooked meal almost.
Yeah.
Because my father is always big. He's always grilling, and I didn't even realize it comes like people chicken, rice, and beans. I'm like, yo, I eat that fucking every day. Arroz con pollo, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh shit, this is the cheat code. Like, y'all want like come through to the house? My pops is cooking. Like, I got meal preps every fucking day. Like, I didn't realize that's what people want and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well, because if you look up the standard, if you look up on Google the standard American diet, it's all processed shit. And then even before stuff like TikTok and Instagram came out, our attention span and our dopamine receptors were getting fucked anyway by our diet. It's like, how quickly can I get my food? How good does it taste? And this, that, and the other. How can I get that quick dopamine and serotonin spikes? And then now social media popped on top of that. Our brains are getting rotted even more. And that's like, well, do I want to? And I couldn't even imagine how it is for parents with young kids. Because I mean, like, on the one hand, I get it. It's like, okay, do I want to take the 15, 20 minutes in the morning extra out of my own routine and getting my kids ready to make like eggs and toast and this, and this? Or do I just grab the cereal off the rack, dump it in there with some milk, say, hey, Johnny, eat? You know what I mean? And then we know all the shit that's in cereal. Like, cereal is actual poison.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking love Fruit Loops. That is my favorite cereal, and I'll die for that shit. But it's going to kill me first.
I know.
With all the red dyes.
I realized that. It's when I had another camp when I was like 19. We had our like duel. And so the UK came through, Finland, China came through, Japan came through. So it was all a bunch of us in dorms and stuff like that. And I was hanging out with this one UK boxer, and he was like, we went to go out to eat, and then we went to like go grocery shop and get like stuff from like the gas station. And he was just so surprised and everything. And they were just like, you guys could eat this? And he's like, you know this is bad. And I was like, what you mean bad? And he was like looking at them. I was like, he's like, this is why the Americans are all fat and everything. I was like, oh, my bad.
Well, a lot of the American candy that goes over to the UK slaps a different label on there that says like, hey, these products have the following ingredients in them that have been banned by the like whatever the UK version of the FDA is, and it's this little thing like maybe like that big on the candy of like fucking Twix or like Sour Patch Kids, but it's got all these different ingredients and all these dyes and sugar replacements where it's like, yeah, it might taste great, but there's like food shouldn't taste that good.
No.
Like that good, it shouldn't taste like that, like sugary and high fructosey bullshit. What is your diet like on a regular basis? Because like what I tell people is, you know, you do have high level athletes where I'm sure they have teams of scientists and nutritionists that are figuring out like, okay, you know, like based on their blood type and based on like their like biochemistry, this is the type of foods that react better. But for just general people, what I tell all my friends is like, look, your body's going to tell you when you're hungry. Your body's going to tell you when you're overly dehydrated, obviously. But eat vegetables, eat fruits, eat animals and things that come out of the ground. Gallon of water a day. I think you're going to be okay. Yeah. Generally, like you're. Like there's a case, I forget what the case is actually called, but it's from like the 1970s. It was like when Maxim magazine and Sports Illustrated, like Playboy had already been established, but like Maxim magazine and Sports Illustrated was coming out, and they were trying to establish what they could sell on newsstands between, okay, this is someone in a bikini, but this is actual like pornographic material. And the famous line that came out of the case from the lawyer was, you know it when you see it. Like, you know what's pornographic when you see it. And so that's the kind of mindset that I apply to food is like, you know it's bad. Like, you know what type of food is bad for you. You probably shouldn't be eating fucking, you know, if you can get a hamburger in under 30 seconds, you probably shouldn't be eating that 5 times a week. You know what I mean? So, like, what does your diet look like on a regular basis?
Honestly, when it comes to camp mode, obviously I'm like really strict and everything.
Yeah.
Because my meal preps, I got sponsored. But honestly, it's just regular food I eat. So it's honestly the only thing I think I eat bad is probably like my sweets. I have a bad I like my sugar intake is kind of bad because like the caffeine. But other than that, I don't really even see myself eating anything that bad because I think I'm so used to home cooked meals. So when you go from like a not home cooked meal, you feel like shit. Even when it comes to like tournaments and you haven't had nothing that's not home cooked, I just feel gross. Yeah. And even like sometimes my friends, like we go out to eat, like, why is it always healthy? I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to. This became like a lifestyle. And like obviously here and there might be some chips. Like I like some of my chips here and there I might eat. But it really just becomes a lifestyle. You don't realize it. And I remember one time, some like family friends came over to the house. I'm like, "Ooh, what kind of snacks you got?" And they're like, "Why are your fucking snacks healthy?" And I was like, "Oh shit, they are. I thought that wasn't regular. I didn't I don't know."
That's how it should be.
It just got used to it on that lifestyle basis. And my father has always been, he's very like critiqued on what we eat, and I didn't realize that. later on, like, coming to the right superfoods and
Good.
shit. I didn't realize he was trying to make us like a freaking next level superhuman up in here, but he's always been like that with us, and so it just naturally came forth. Like, he wasn't never like, we're just gonna be at McDonald's, like, oh well, we're gonna eat, it's gonna might be a little later, it might be 10 p.m., but you're gonna eat some good ass food.
Good.
So that's how you always been. So like having a McDonald's trip or something like that it never became like a thing to us. So it just never became part of my lifestyle, and especially when it comes to boxing, it can't, like, maybe definitely people who ever go to the gym, you can create like that gym body dysphoria, you know, is a real thing. And when it comes to like eating and it comes to being that athlete life, I like to be within a certain weight because I ain't trying to lose a bunch of weight, obviously.
Right.
And
yeah, what weight class do you fight in?
my last right now is 135, but I weighed in at 137 because
What do you walk around at? If you don't mind me asking.
Right
if
now,
you don't mind me asking.
Oh, right now, because I took a little bit of time off, and probably like I was like 150 in the 150s.
Okay.
Usually, to me, that's high for me. Like,
Yeah.
most people are like, oh, that's nothing. Because I personally like to be like 145-ish.
Right.
So
you're not having to cut that much weight.
yeah, where like, but I forget that I am pro. So like, ideally, most people like to be like 20 pounds or even more crazy, you know? So like, when on fight night, they can recover and be like heavy as fuck, you know? But me, I'm just different. Everyone's different, I guess you could say.
How crazy is that you can cut down your weight, right? You walk in at like 135, 137. Mm-hmm. Then you've got about 18 hours, 24 hours before the fight.
That was definitely different because,
And then
like,
you go and just fucking eat. I mean, obviously, you're not just shoving your face with fucking pizza and pasta and shit, but you're just eating and eating and eating relatively healthy, but still calorie-dense foods so you can recharge the body, getting the glycogen back in the muscle, right? Getting the simple carbohydrates, simple sugars in there, sure. But how crazy is that you could, like, walk in at 135, and the next day you step in the ring, you're probably pushing 150? Like, is this, I mean, I like the way that Rogan puts it. It's like sanctioned cheating. It's like, why are we even lying to each other?
Exactly. That's why I say amateur boxing is a little more safer because you're in your weight class. Because in amateur boxing, you had to weigh in every day, depending if you win that fight. And you can't be like, say my last weight class was 139. Let's say if I win 139.2, you're disqualified. You're out of there. You can't be point. You had to be exactly 139 or one under. When it comes to pros and stuff like that, I thought it was going to be like, oh, hell yeah, hella food, you know? But I really wasn't. I think because I was so disciplined on my diet, my body just got adjusted to it. So I was like, even him, he was like, no, try, eat more. I need you to be like 145, 147. I'm fighting. I need you to be heavy. And I was like, bro, I cannot fucking eat. I feel like shit. My stomach hurts, literally. And they're like, any more food? I was like, bro, if I eat more, I'm gonna throw up. Like, I can't do it no more. Like, it felt like a food eating contest after that.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then you're shocking the system, too.
Yeah, because you're like, what the hell? And I was trying to, like, it was just hard, honestly. People didn't think about it. Like when I come fight, I'm like, oh, after weigh-ins, I mean, all this. And when it comes down to, you're like, oh, I really can't eat it. Like, oh, my manager, she told me Arturo Gatti, because she's a manager, Arturo Gatti. He would do is get all these foods, all his favorite foods, and he would just get, like, a spoonful of each one, and that's what he just did. So, just to have that, like, taste bud craving, but he wouldn't eat all of it, just because that's what he wanted.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the lesson I learned the hard way, because when I got done with I did a bodybuilding competition last year, and when I got done, I got off stage and went home. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we got Dion's. And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna tear this shit up. I got 2.5 slices in, and I was just like, oh,
it hurts,
huh? No, this is bad. And then just talk about a fucking diuretic. Fuck it, just my system. I shut down for the rest of the day. I was done, and then my body barely recovers, and my coach had come down. I was like, "Oh, we're doing a podcast tonight, sweet." And I had a couple of beers. It took me a Corona and a half to get buzzed.
Dang.
You know, it was nothing. And it's funny now because I look at episodes I did back at that time, and I never realized like how skinny I was, like how shrunken my face was. It looked like a fucking skeleton. I looked like, because I've gotten absolutely no facial hair, so I was still in the military at the time, and then I shaved my face for the show, and I'm just like that, and it's fucking.
I think that's my biggest part right now is I had to learn how to be like Sharahya. Like, I'm at a healthy weight right now. Like, dude, you're perfectly fine. But I'm so used to be like, nah, I gotta be that fight weight. I gotta look almost like crackhead skinny. That's how I feel amazing. You know, everything. I'm like, try it. You're okay. Like, you're healthy. That's the biggest part I had to get down with, because you're so used to like, no, I need to be in shape. Muscle needs to be popping. This needs to be popping out. So I don't know. I think it comes down to like social media too.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask. And speaking, obviously, I don't know like the female perspective on it, but just from my own experience dealing with body dysmorphia, and as a fighter, how are you, like, I guess on a day-to-day basis, having that mental game with yourself where it's like, yeah, I don't have to be at fight weight. Obviously, I'm keeping myself in shape. I'm still, excuse me, I'm still training and doing all that kind of stuff. But mentally speaking, how are you keeping yourself healthy with the fact that, hey, yeah, I fight at 135. I'm like 150-ish now. This is not a bad thing. Yeah. When, again, social media, even for just women in general, social media will have you thinking another way. But then I'm sure your social media is absolutely cluttered with fighters and fitness models and shit like
24/7. That's why I don't like being on it, because I'm just like, I don't look like that right now, so let me get off.
Yeah. So
that's why I become picky, and people are like, oh, you follow me back? I'm like, no, because all you're posting is fake. Like, you flexing 24/7 is not realistic. I'm good. Like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, so you're actively just staying away from that shit.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to like judge myself. Like, oh shit, they're working 10 times harder in the gym. But I also gotta be realistic, because sometimes, that's when it comes down to editing. You know, like, damn, they're going hard for those 10 seconds to get those views or likes, because that's what we're in. So I'm like, let me clear out real quick, because I really don't want to be on it.
Yeah, no, good for you having that. I mean, because I had stepped away from social media right about when the George Floyd riots were happening in summer of 2020. That's when I was like, you know what? Social media right now is a net negative in my life.
You can't even post you drinking coffee without someone coming at your throat.
Yeah, I'm just not going to do it. And I still have nowhere near the social media presence that you do. But I was just like seeing all the insanity. It's like, fuck this, we're done. Then I'm back now because of the podcast. But yeah, people are fucking vicious online.
Oh, trust me, I've got death threats online.
Over what?
Because of me losing a fight.
Jeez, like people in your DMs?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just like, or like trying to send me like some rude stuff, and it was like literally death threats. Like, you shouldn't be on Team USA. That was a fucking embarrassment. You should just fucking kill yourself. I don't even know how you got that opportunity. You're just gonna embarrass like that. Who the fuck I was like, okay, bye.
Jesus.
Like, it was just like next time we see you at your tournament, don't ever even fucking show your face. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
It's like, who are you?
Yeah, I'm like, thanks for telling me that, but also, what the fuck? Because you need to at least put a profile picture of you. I'm like, okay.
And these people would never say that to your face either.
So that's why I try to stay away. And sometimes I feel bad, because sometimes I'm, all right, let me meant to prepare myself, because sometimes there are good comments, you know? Some people that are really nice and respectful, but then sometimes you see that one, you're like, oh, this motherfucker. And people are like, why do you look through? I'm like, I don't really care anymore. Now my skin, I already got the worst out the way for me personally. Unless they actually say it in my face, I really don't care.
And they're not going to.
Yeah.
And that'd be a poor life to get me, because like you said a little bit earlier. I mean, you have your team, you have your dad, you have your brother, and you have you in your fucking hands. Like, I'm just saying, that'd be a very, very poor life decision.
Listen. You could be very tough online, but it comes outside, respectfully, you're not protected.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about hands, so please come correct, or don't even come at me at all.
Well,
there's a reason I drive all these tournaments.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, and then let's be honest, like there's this culture that's kind of seeped out of online, and it's starting to go out in person, where people think they're a lot tougher than they are.
Yeah.
And it's like A, most aren't, and B, what is the point?
Yeah.
What is the point of needless conflict? Come on now. We've got enough of that. And we see how, like we were talking about a little bit earlier about Albuquerque. People do not fight. They just
don't.
shoot.
Like, exactly.
They shoot. That's
what I'm saying. When like some friends came out here for a boxing thing, and they're like, yo, let's go out. I know you've seen it. Like, I don't really go out like that. And I'm like, why? It's fine. I'm like, listen, if I'm going out, I'm preparing myself for either running or something, and somebody's getting shot. I'm sorry. It always ends in some type of violence. And even like me and my friend, we went to go get like some tacos and everything. We were downtown, and I told my pops, hey, yo, you want some tacos and everything? I'm gonna go get something. And he was like, yeah, give me something. And there comes this like crackhead. He had like, it was raining. He had like this big old cut, and he was like asking for some money. And we said, my friend was like, no, I don't got no. She didn't have no cash. She was like, no, I don't got money. I mean, he's like, what'd you say? And he came in our face. And then I was like, back up, because I got pissed and everything, because she's tiny. She's like 5'2". I'm like, why is he trying to come at her?
Because she's 5'2" and
yeah.
tiny.
And he stepped stepping her, and I said, back up, and I had to literally kick him off, and he literally tried to fight her, and I never even thought about this, but she screamed, like, she was like, rape, you know, and a bunch of guys came out, they started pounding on all her shots, and I was like, yeah, let's get her food, it's time to go.
Hey, you just wanted tacos, man.
Yeah, all I wanted was some fucking tacos. I was like, I didn't think it was that deep, and also was like, I am not fighting this man, and people were like, oh, why didn't you just fight him? Why the fuck you think I'm gonna fight some random with an open cut?
Yeah.
First off, I don't fight for free. Second off, I actually like my life.
I don't fight for free.
Oh, let's get this right. And I'm not messing myself up.
The Albuquerque mentality.
Yeah.
You make a threat of somebody in Albuquerque, they're not going to take it light.
No, they're not going to take it lightly. And again, you don't know what people are. Well, first of all, you're very right. Bloodborne pathogens, that's a thing. That gets in your eyes, that gets in your mouth, that gets in your nose,
and
your
I had
ears.
to take blood tests for my boxing. I don't want to fucking hit somebody. Now I got whatever fucking disease or whatever they got, and now there goes my career because whatever the fuck he was on.
And it happens just like that.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
So A, and then B, whether it's a homeless person or it's a regular person, you don't know what people have on them.
Exactly.
Even if they don't have a gun, they have a knife, they have something.
Yeah.
And then your life is done. Like
exactly.
That. Like my buddy of mine, or local comedian that I've been lucky enough to become friends with, Zach Abeda, he talks about it in his set all the time, and more power to him. I get it. I think it was last April. No, 2 Aprils ago. It was April of 22. They did a roast battle at Revel. Mm-hmm. And they did a roast, they did a roast of him. So it was all his comedian friends just talking shit because it was his birthday. Yeah. So yeah, apparently I really wanted to go, but I'm sad that I missed it because apparently it was a great time. But anyway,
I don't have tough skin for that.
So they were like, they all left and they're all going down to his apartment that he lived at on Central, like on like actual like downtown and shit. Mm-hmm. And they're having a good time. It's like, hey, I'm gonna go let my dogs out. So they go take a piss outside. Mm-hmm. Takes them into the alleyway. Car pulls up. Young kids couldn't have been older than 21. A couple shots. Get shot twice in the stomach. Yeah. Because what? He was taking out his dogs, and these kids want to be fucking idiots. Yeah. Of course, they never got caught.
Probably little 14-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The 14, 15-year-olds you gotta watch for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's and again, that is a culture that they're just getting brought up in where they think it's cool. Mm-hmm. I think that's like, it's the lifestyle. It's the game.
Mentality. That's what Albuquerque is.
Yep.
Like,
there's nothing to do here, and they just be so bored. Like, hey, let's go cruise down Central. Let's pop out their guns and act like we're all that.
And we were just talking about that earlier. What is the number one way, again, statistically, the number one way to prevent crime amongst youth is you have to occupy their time with something that they find valuable, but something that is going to make them better citizens in the end.
From 4 to 8 p.m., they said that's when kids get in trouble.
Yep.
So you can occupy a child from 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. It's a 70% chance that he'll be successful.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons, like, when we come down to the Duke City Underground gym, I love that gym because they take in everybody. And there's some kids with some fucked up stories. And that's why I'm going to preach this gym because I actually like them as people because they take in everybody because all little badass fucking kids. And they set them right, and they're all right there in that little community and everything, actually helping each other because they're now not bored on the streets. That's why I like about the boxing. You have so many random fucking people in there. You never know their stories and their backgrounds. And it's kind of like almost like cleaning up the street because they're actually there doing something better for themselves instead of being bored out late at night.
That, and on a regular basis, they're getting humbled.
Exactly.
They're getting punched in the head.
A lot of them think like, yeah, I'm gonna be unthink all this and go in the fucking ring. Or sometimes Measy, my brother had to like, my pops were like, they think they're all that. Measy, go show them real quick. And then first round off the back, home like, and then like, oh my god, bro, da da da, and like, yeah, this shit is real.
Well, yeah, because again, they're spending time, yes, getting in shape, getting their mental right, but at the same time, they're getting fucking humbled. Whether you're doing boxing, you're getting socked in the head. Whether you're doing jiu-jitsu and you're getting choked out, you're getting fucking armbarred, you're getting leg locked. Like, you can only have so much pride while another grown man is taking away your consciousness.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, it's not going to work out for you very well.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, because people, I don't know why, they assume like I'm gonna be this angry, taunting person. I'm gonna walk like, even when I was in school in boxing, they're like, "Oh, don't punch me." Like, where do you think I'm just gonna punch you randomly?
Right.
Like, I don't have that in me.
And fighters, and again, it tends to scale the longer they perform their art. Let's just call it, whether they're fighters, weightlifters. The people that you see the most in any gym are 9 times out of 10, because there are the outliers that are just assholes. You'll have that everywhere. But 9 times out of 10, the biggest guy in the gym, the most skilled fighter, they're the nicest people.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they're the
They really
nicest
are.
people, because they, on a regular basis, this is what I boil it down to, on a regular basis, they are doing something to their body and to their mind that is so extremely challenging that day-to-day interactions don't really bug them that much. So just their overall cortisol levels, their cortisol levels are lower, their hormones are balanced out better, they're usually eating right, so their brain is better. They're just a better human, so they're probably going to be very nice to you. Unless, obviously, you fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Fuck around and find out.
But generally speaking, they're the nicest people. They have the softest voices, and they're just there to have a good time and do what they love.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, okay, so you you fought in India, you come back. Now you have to take the time off to finish up your education, which again shows the direction that you have in your life, which is very needed. I mean, let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I had the option of, well, I wouldn't say that, because I loved my high school that I went to. But if, especially like I'm not the guy, like I didn't graduate college. So it wasn't my thing. But I'm glad that I was put in a high school where I had the direction to show, like, okay, no, but this baseline of education is important. And then I did 2 years of college, so having a little bit more than that is nice. But I'm glad that it's had that direction in general. So you take the time off, you finish up high school, and you graduate. What year did you graduate high school?
2018.
2018? Okay, and then when do you go to the Atlanta City Boardwalk for your
2023 in July.
Okay, so what is happening in between? Because again, there's a whole pandemic
Yeah.
while that's happening as well. So
Sorry.
what is... Oh, you're good. So what is leading you up to getting to Atlantic City?
So after that, which is the Olympic trials, making the team as Team USA, doing those duels with other countries, traveling in. And then I ended up going to Bulgaria, a Sharahya-Taina tournament that we had to do.
So slow down a little bit. No, because if you don't mind, if you have the time, I want to learn about that too. So when do you make the Olympic team?
Became the alternate in 2021.
2021. Where do you qualify for that, or where do you make that spot, I guess?
Well, it's because of Olympic trials. So what happened, it was the top 8 girls. So when what year was it? 2019? 2019, Salt Lake City.
Nope. Oh, 2018 you made the team. 2019 was the trials.
2018 made the team for the elite team, and that's where we had to go to Bulgaria. And then 2019 was Olympic trials, and they had the top 8 girls at 152 weight class, because that time they only had a certain number, because it was 112, 132, 165, and then for the 2020 they added
125 pounds and 152 pounds.
125 and 152.
And what was your walk around rate at that time?
About 150, but the same weight. Yeah.
So I'm sure you're very happy about that.
Yeah, I guess not really.
Do you like fighting at 150? Do you like cutting down to 135, 137?
I hate to be mean, but I like cutting down a little because I feel like the bigger person. Because even when I was like,
fair enough.
Like I'm tall, but I'm not, big. You feel me?
Right.
And even at 52, I was like 148 because when I'm training, I get to like 40, 47 naturally.
Because in reality, at that 152, you got people that are walking around at 170, cutting down to your weight. And it's like,
even
okay.
then, because before I had to fight 165, because when I went to India, I fought at 165, but I wasn't 165. I was fighting bigger girls again.
What was your weight in India?
Still 150, but I was fighting girls bigger than me. Like the first day of the fights and everything, I had to fight the number one girl, but the girl was from Russia, and I was like, I'm fighting the fucking world champ off the back. All right, let's get to it. So like all the weight classes I had, like I'm tall, but it wasn't big enough, Right. And so I did that one. It was the top 8 girls to 52, and then COVID happened, so boom, a whole year of no fucking boxing. And then that's when I was just like, no one did boxing. There's no competition, nothing like that. And then it came to training.
How often did you train during the pandemic? It's like, I'd imagine a lot of that.
All the time we had the gym
Yeah,
class.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot.
No,
I'm sure you were thankful for all the equipment you
yeah,
had.
because a lot of the gyms were closed, but for us, we had a backyard gym. So
Right.
to us, it was like, it was nothing.
Just
you
back to
know?
business.
Yeah, the only thing
Yeah.
that was different when we couldn't go to certain stores and stuff like that, hang out with people. And they were doing like sending workout gyms and stuff like that. And my pops was drunk. He said, "Yo, Sharahya, you need to chill the weight. Are you trying to come out all stocky up in here? You doing freaking prison home workouts?" I was like, "Yo, I'm so fucking bored. I don't know what to do."
Yeah.
But
Was there ever a thought in your mind where you thought, well, obviously, like we might get out of this and boxing's gonna come back, but what is boxing gonna look like for me? Were there any worries about that?
I thought the world was gonna end.
I was ready for the apocalypse.
Yeah, that's why I was training so hard.
I'm gonna have to outrun the zombies.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have like a zombie apocalypse. My pop said, "All right, let's get these loaded. All right, before these ammo and everything start going up prices, let's get it all set up and everything."
Oh my God, so
we were like
when-
bugging up food, shelter, everything you think of. I was like, let me get in super shape. I was running with backpack, weights, and everything because I got to be the home runner.
So right before like everything really started locking down, me and one of my roommates, Joey, we bought, I want to say we bought 1,000 rounds of 5.56 online, and we spent like $400 on it or so. Again, that's pre-COVID prices. So we got 1,000 rounds of 5.56, $400. We split it between the two of us. Sweet. We looked at prices when things started opening back up. 1,000 rounds was about $800.
Oh yeah.
800, 850 before taxes, before shipping. It's like, fuck. And we literally remember when he got the, 'cause I was in Texas at the time and he was here. When he got the shipment in, it was literally in these ammo cans. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is sick. And then now it's like, they come in these cheap little packagings and it's like double the price.
I still remember when they shut down the gun stores. I was in the gun store today, and the sheriff came in there and said, 3 o'clock, you're shutting down. The government put the order in. And they had one box of 223s of 500. And I bought the last book. I remember the guy at the gun store was so mad at me because I bought that. And I bought as many clips to be able to feel the feel. You know what I mean? They were like, I never been at a gun store where they was mad I was buying stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know, we didn't know what was going on. Everything's shut down. We didn't know if stores are going to be shut down. We have to fight for food.
Well, people
know
were
what I mean?
freaking out for
Yeah.
fucking toilet paper. That's what blew my mind. There's a respiratory virus around that's going to make you cough a bit. Toilet paper. That's the number one priority. We about to shit our brains out, America. Get that toilet paper going now.
That shows how fucking overweight and obese America is.
No, for real. No, me, all three of us at the time, we really thought the world was the end. I was like, yo, fuck it. You know, and my pops had me getting ready. He said, get all the food. He had me marking how many we have. All right, you're going to have one ration a day type. Like, I wasn't playing.
That's
like,
smart.
Like, he was like, all right, this is how many got. I was marking each one down, putting them together. That's the reason I was training so hard. I was like, yo, I'm training harder. No wonder why I was in shape for the trial and all this stuff, because I thought I was going to fucking die or something like that.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead was gonna happen.
Yeah, and I literally my pops buy us, me and my brother, like 20-pound weighted vests and everything, and we're all running with them because in case of future we're fucking the supply runners and everything.
Yeah, well, they got to carry 20 pounds of food or something.
Yeah,
like that.
so
They
we
gotta
were
be
preparing ourselves. Me and my brother are like trying to time our sprints. We're like, gotta get faster, gotta get faster.
Okay,
gotta
so
get
it's a third of
faster.
a mile between here and the Walmart. We can
Yup.
sprint that.
All right.
blocks, actually.
Yeah. We're like, all right, we got this in time. We know the tunnels. We know where to go. People don't understand. We was prepared and
Hey,
everything.
remember there was a little bomb shelter in the school?
Yeah, we know where the bomb shelter. We was ready.
Well, that's the
Yo,
fucking...
I'm like on some Will Smith. I am Legend. I had my dog ready. Like, yo, we
start-
is getting together.
You're going to start talking to mannequins in the
Hell
local...
yeah. I'm gonna use
Say
them.
hi to me.
I'm using them as decoys and shit. Oh, you thought I was there? Soik, I'm out.
That's the mindset you need to be able to flip that apocalypse mode on. It's like, all right, this is it.
Shit. That mindset's still here. What's up with this world going on? My papa said, I raised soldiers. I'm raising little warriors. I'm here. He sure did, because the way we were, it was like,
Yeah.
let's go. We ready for whatever.
That's what you need. No, for
Why do
real.
you, I like that? So it sounds crazy, but that's why I like the boxing. It's almost like that mindset you have, because I was going to go to the armies and stuff like that. I was like, yo, this shit don't work. shit, I'm the perfect fucking candidate. What's up? But I was like, lucky the boxing worked out, so I didn't have to choose that route.
Go.
But so I low-key always had that mindset. So
I mean, Mad Max movies.
yeah.
So I grew up on Mel Gibson in the desert, son. I know what this looks
literally,
like.
This him. He's like, I watch a lot of movies. I know what I'm doing. I was like,
He's opened up a closet, there's a bunch of spiked leather jackets. Like, all right,
Yeah.
this is the wardrobe of the apocalypse. Get used to it.
literally, it's like, all right, you get your ammo on, get your camouflage, just go. I'm like, all right.
So
Ready.
you okay, so during you come out of the pandemic and then you go to qualify in 21. And you make the team in 21.
Yeah, I got the call because I was helping Cecilia Bacardis for one of her world championship fight. I was in Big Bear in a camp, and we got the call. And my pops told me, and I was like, "Huh?" I'm the alternate for this team. They fucking hate me. There ain't no way I'm gonna be on this again. He's like, "No, for real, get ready. They're gonna after this, you're going to another camp." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay, so that one was different because we was in San Diego, but it was still like pandemic. We had to wear the mask. We couldn't go nowhere. Like,
ooh, this is California in
Yeah.
21?
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, I mean, that place was fucking dead. Like, I have family in San Diego and in Carlsbad. And they were telling me how dead the place was. And granted, it's my grandparents, so they don't go out a whole lot anyway. But my aunt's down there in Carlsbad. And she was telling me how, like, yeah, like they only have like a certain amount of people can go in the grocery store, a certain amount of people can go to the gas stations. Like, they're rationing all this crap out, masks everywhere. Entertainment is pretty much fucking dead. And I was looking at that, like,
We did a vacation during the pandemic to San Diego.
it's like, damn.
no, because after that, I had some money left over. And I was like, fuck it. If we die, let me blow up my money real quick and everything. I was like, if we die, let's go head up the beach real quick. Let's join, then we'll come back and get ready for the apocalypse.
Fuck, I would hate to be down in California during that. Hell no. So how long were you down there training for?
I don't even remember. What was the date? 2 months? In like 2 months or something like that?
And are they? I'm sure this is something that a lot of people are wondering about, like like when you go to sponsored training camps. Are they paying you while you're out there, or are they like?
No, that's the thing people don't realize. Unless you're number one on the team, you get paid. You know, and it's really not even that much, to be honest with you. You get more probably getting a part-time job, to be honest with you. But it's in their eyes, is because they covered the flights, your food, and like it's cool.
Okay, so
you know?
you're not getting paid to be out there, but you're being like funded. Like you
Yeah.
have like your food, food, your board, your flights. Okay,
Yeah.
well at least there's that.
Yeah, so that part they pay for and everything. So to them, you're staying on the campus part or the training center. So to them, whatever else, that's out of your own pocket, you know?
Right. Okay.
So that's what comes down to having that base system. If you have that family support, because when you come back, and it sucked because some of these people, I don't know how they did it, because some of them had like kids and they were married. They're like late. I was like, I'm over here like, how the fuck you funding this shit and everything? Like, I was like at the time, like, I'm with my pops. Like,
well, no, that's the perfect time to do it. You're young, you're not married, you don't have any kids.
Yeah,
like,
and it is crazy because, like, I don't know. I love Team USA for a reason, so now, but love them for, like, helping me get that exposure, because it really does help. But now, like, knowing the more back end, it's like, this shit is so crooked. This shit is so corrupt. It's like next level. I fucking hate them right now.
No shit.
So even coming to these Olympic trials right now for my brother, I love him. It's just like, they already know who they want. It's already handpicked before you even get there. It's just false hopes and dreams.
Well, I'm not gonna pick and pry unless you want to talk about stuff like that. But I mean, it's up to you guys.
I don't know. Is it like me? I don't really care because I'm not with them no more. And anything. So
Okay.
so it doesn't matter. It just sucks that they give you false hopes. Like, yeah, you're gonna be our next star. You used to be the one in the Olympics. You were young at the time, but now that you're older, you're gonna be in your young 20s, and you just give you all these promises, and then just don't fulfill them. And it's really like, it's kind of like a popularity contest. Who has the most dirt on each other to stay on the fucking team?
So, okay, so before I ask what's in my head, when you did your pro fight at the Atlanta City Boardwalk, was that with Team USA, or was that just
no.
That's just a pro fight, like a pro
That
card?
year, I was done with the amateurs.
Okay.
And like early January, after they found out that year, I didn't get selected for the team again for elite at 139. I was really pissed because that year was the first year the women were going to get paid like the men. Like, hello, the women's first place was like 100K, second place was 50K, third place was like 10K. I was pissed as fuck because they promised me like, yeah, we're gonna take the top 2 girls and we're gonna take them to Turkey to fight in that women's world championship. And I was like, hell yeah, we're getting paid just like the men. This is a dream come true, you know?
Yeah.
And to not be selected or not even getting the chance to do a test match or really be selected as a fucking athlete, not like of how much dirt I know about somebody, like, hey, this is happening.
So because I want to frame this in just fact, right? So when did so you get selected for the team as an alternate in 21. So, because there's not a lot of time between when you get selected and then there's the pro fight that you had outside of that. So when did you start to notice that let's say like the dissolving of your relationship between you and Team USA started to happen?
Especially when on the alternate team, I saw how like certain like close friends of mine didn't get to go to the Olympics because they didn't qualify for like Pan American games that happened the year before, and they didn't tell them. So that's why they made it such a big priority this year for this team to do the Pan American games, so they could be selected who's gonna be in the Olympics for next year. So I feel bad for these people going to Olympic trials. They're just going there to pretty much say they competed, but they're not even the Olympians because there's already pre-selected of who actually went to the Pan American games. And that's when I saw firsthand when they started picking the team for this year. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, so they just don't want to repeat. I get it because of COVID, because a lot of people didn't get to have their chance. So I was like, oh, so they kind of see who they wanted beforehand and just tell you like, oh, we're going to promise you hit this and all this, but it's not reality.
Interesting. So and again, trying to like frame this objectively, when those people didn't get selected, was it based strictly off of, like, do you think there's any left or right on that where it was, hey, they just weren't skilled enough? Because, again, I get it. The pandemic sucks. That happened, and it sucked that it happened.
I love the team for the 2021 Olympics. That was cool. Like, I actually had a great time. They were cool and everything. It was after the fact. Like, they're like, right, you're the alternate for this one. Cool, whatever. But now we're going to get you ready for the next Olympics, the 2024, you know, to compete in this weight class. Let's get ready for this. And so we could see you because when you made a team, you were like 19. You're still getting fresh in the league. Now you're a little bit older, 21. Let's see how you do in more the adult stage, you know. So that's all like feeding me false promises. And when it comes down to like not even picking me off because, well, like I'm a great fucking athlete. When I had to compete, I was like, oh, this is easy. Like when it comes to certain things, like literally like from running to lifting to certain things, that's how they pick you off, you know. It wasn't even that. It was more like who has the most dirt, who could keep the coach's position without ratting anybody out. Like it was just like
what's going on behind the scenes would have that much of an effect.
There's a lot. It just comes to like fuck it, who's sleeping around with somebody to stay on their position, which coach is not actually being a fucking coach. And I was like, literally, I know a lot of these people have relationships. I'm like, yeah.
And so are these coaches now, because I guess it's different than what I had in my head. So are these coaches for the Olympic teams, or are these coaches that are coming with the fighters?
Both.
Okay, so there's a lot of behind closed door deals that are happening between coaches that are coming in and coaches that are institutionalized in the organization.
You said it on the money.
Okay.
So that's the crazy part, and you're just like, oh, I didn't even know that was happening. Or comes down to like athletes like, I saw coach did this, da 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 da. I have dirt on him, blah blah. Put a good word in for me. I got you. We got each other's back, and I'm just like, I thought this was based off skill performance. Okay, you didn't even like wanted to give me a fucking chance.
But
okay.
it's skill. It's skill in the art to get you in the door, but it's politicking is going to keep you there.
Yeah, pretty much. And you would think they'll be better at it, especially when it comes to sponsorship, endorsements. Like, there's a lot of other people who actually could help, like, get that in. They always want to be like, oh, we don't got the money for this. They do got the fucking money. They're just fucking liars.
That is the biggest, as far as this country goes, whenever there are institutions that are worth millions upon billions of dollars, and they say we don't have the money for it. And again, not to get overtly political about it, but after this whole Ukraine nonsense, I don't buy that anymore. The whole we don't have money for it, that is not a thing.
I'm like,
No.
Okay. Like, if I know other people's like could get hella money for their like local gyms, and you guys are literally Team USA, a whole nonprofit. You guys have fucking McDonald's, Wheaties, fucking CoverGirl, all these top people giving you money just to put up something. I don't know. It's just a lot to
You
it.
look at like past Olympic teams. You know, you would see Sugar Ray Leonard with Coca-Cola or 7-Up or McDonald's or Adidas or whoever they had. Even when they had the first females, you had Marlena Esparza that was doing CoverGirl, and she was doing Coca-Cola, McDonald's as well. You know, some of these athletes, they made $1 million before they even went pro because USA Boxing got this. This is the United States of America Olympic Center. You tell me that they don't have the sponsorships through NBC and all this stuff to get these athletes stuff? So who's getting this money? You know what I'm saying? It's not going to the athletes.
Right.
Every other country, you got poor countries like Cuba and these other countries that they'll have your 2 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed. That way, if something don't work out, they stay strong. United States only put the top 2. We're talking about the most successful boxing program in the world when it comes to amateur boxing. They can only afford to have 2 athletes in the camp at all time.
Bullshit.
They don't have the money.
Bullshit.
No, somebody's pocketing that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And getting rich off these, and then they got people in charge that never box. Some of these coaches that never had a fighter win a national tournament.
But they're businessmen.
But they're there coaching these kids.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They don't pick amongst the people. Then we got coaches from other countries teaching our kids how to fight. No disrespect, but majority of the kids that box are either black or Latinos. How you gonna bring a coach from another country to coach our kids in the United States? So I don't even know the culture of the United States or could relate. These kids can't even understand these coaches because of the accent. Not to be mean, but it is what it is.
No, it is what it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We used to be dominant. United States used to go and get the gold all the time. The only one we had to worry about was Cuba. You tell me Cuba got more money than the United States to put into their boxing program?
Nah.
See?
Well, I mean, another good example of that comes to mind is how I think just barely last year collegiate athletes can finally get money off the sponsorships. So it's like like you said, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and then it's basically like Gatorade, Powerade, all these other big brands can slap their label on all these collegiate athletes, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, whatever it is. But the athlete that's going out there performing, making the organization money, making the sponsorship money, they don't get a cut.
Exactly.
Stingy.
So anyway, you're experiencing firsthand. You're seeing because everyone says it like, oh, there's a lot of corruption in boxing. Where's it going? Where's the money? This, that, and the other. You're seeing all of that, and you end up no longer being a part of the Team USA. If you don't mind me asking, what happened that caused the separation?
Literally just them not picking me when it come down to like.
Okay.
So we had the nationals. I fought 4 times, made it to the finals, and I fought back to back. That was a great fucking year for me. You're like, Dry, we never seen you do so good in a tournament like this, and the way it's skillful. Like, yes, because the top 2, they promised it. I still got it on doc and paper, in picture where they said we're taking the 2 to the finalists, and you do like a test match, and just scoring on your skill, whatever. Cool, whatever. And it came down to this basically like, oh, we're not going to pick you, and they couldn't even give me a good reason. And I was just like, so I'm going to come to the next camp or anything like that. No, we're just not going to pick you this time. But next time for the next nationals, you win or place top 2 again, we'll bring you back to camp. I was like, you want me to wait a whole nother fucking year? Like, bro, I'm only getting older. And you guys are not even going to pay me. And then later on throughout the year, like, hey, can you come into camp and help with sparring for free?
Yeah, what, you want me to get beat up for free?
Like, you want
waste my time for free?
You want me to help your number one that you didn't even pick me and for free? Like, for 6 to 8 weeks at a time? Like, no, are you fucking kidding me? And even the last one for the Pan Americans, they tried to call a lot of our old team members and were like, can you help us get ready for these Pan Americans for free? Yeah. Are you fucking... I'm getting older. I'm not 18 years old. I'm not 19 years old. Like, I have actually a life going on for myself. Like... They just think they could just be like, hey, yeah, so if you want to post up, some people like to. Some people can just want to just post up and say, hey, I'm here at the Olympic Training Center, what's up? But that's not me.
That's, yeah, good. First of all, like, I mean, that's such a very cliche thing, know your worth, but quite literally know what you're worth, know what your time is worth. Do you think, and I'm not justifying it, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Do you think that they put feelers out like that and they try to get people to do this? Like, okay, are they going to play ball when we need them to? Because again, the realist part of me looks at that and goes, they're exploiting you, right? Just because they are Team USA and they're like this, that, and the other. Do you think there's any element of that that's like, well, maybe if they play ball now, we can help them play ball later?
Honestly, yeah, because my problem is my downfall is I just speak up. Like if I have a problem with it, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, who are you? Like even when I was like one sparring session, a certain coach, he told me he tried to use this and piss me the fuck off. We had a test match and he was just like, aren't you Puerto Rican? Aren't you like a warrior or something like that? Let's see the fucking warrior side. Why are you scared? I said, where the fuck you think I'm scared? I'm in boxing and everything. I'm literally about to fight. He's like, well, let's see. And I was like, I don't even know this guy. I just met him, but now he's trying to act like he's my coach in the corner.
There's definitely a time and place
and then he's talking to me crazy. And then I
Yeah.
have my roommates and then he's coming late at night trying to like, talk to like one of the girls and everything. And like, yo, you're fucking married. You're disgusting. Get out of here. It's already past curfew. Exactly. Like, what are you doing? Tell me all your fucking business.
They get these coaches, so like I'm a coach, there's a lot of coaches. They get these kids, they go win these national championships, then they pluck them away from their coaches, right? They don't even communicate with the coaches, and you find out, okay, what works with this kid? Every kid's different, right? Some kids you could be verbal with them. Some you got to be visual with them because everybody has a different style of learning, right?
Exactly.
Of different process. So they bring strangers that don't even know anything about this athlete and trying to tell them what to do and change what they did to become successful. And that's the problem why the United States are not getting gold medals no more in boxing is because they're changing what the kids were doing to be successful to fit their agenda. And it's like it's a fucked up program that we have where you think like let's get the best coaches and let's bring them into the camp. Let's bring these coaches in. That way they can help us with the athletes so we can produce the best product possible that the public's going to represent. Because if we get gold medals, we're going to be seen everywhere. But we haven't got a gold medal since 2020.
Jesus.
In the Olympics?
2020.
Yeah,
And
2020 was Andre Ward.
You said 2020. It's
2010. Yeah, 2000. I'm sorry.
2000.
Sorry, guys. 2000.
I was like, over 20 years.
Yeah, my bad. I'm doing Earl Spence.
So 2010.
No, 2000.
No, 2000. I'm sorry.
No, 2000.
In
Yeah.
Greece. In Athens,
Okay.
Greece.
I was going to say, Andre Ward's was a while back.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
actually it's been 23 years since there's been a gold medal in the Olympics for boxing for America, other than a female. You had Clarissa Shields there in 2012, 2016, but for a male, it hasn't happened since 2000. That's 23 years, so that tells you something's wrong with the program if we've only had 2 gold medalists since then, and it was a female. And at that time, it was a wash-down division. We had a bunch of novices girls that were going at it.
And I wonder if you could see a graph of how in that time since in the last 23 years, how much their profits have gone up.
Right.
Obviously, you know what I mean? I want to take a quick break because I got to fucking take a piss real quick.
Okay,
So,
me too. I'm here like
before we actually get into the fight you had at Atlantic City, you are amazing for podcasting, by the way.
Oh, really?
Long form conversation. This has been great.
Oh.
Yeah, this has been
I
fucking
didn't think
awesome.
about that.
I've had a blast. Like this has been a really great time, and thank you guys again for your time. Seriously, I know it's valuable. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
So your fight that you just had in the Atlantic City Boardwalk. What was the process and training for that, and then how? Because you won, but you did it very well in that fight. You fucking dominated. Like, there wasn't even a joke. So, what was the training camp like for that fight, and then leading into that?
The training camp, it was hard as fuck. Well, it's just because like going to like you're stepping away from the amateur scene, going to the pro scene is different from, like I said, sitting down the shots, having to train more than usual, the strength and conditioning, actually be more disciplined, coming down to the business side of like if you could sell the tickets, because it's not like I'm in Albuquerque, like I would probably be going crazy, building my fan base in the East Coast, being showing that Puerto Rican side, being in the lights. No one talks about like how the outfits made, like all this like adds up. And like my father, he still has a full-time job, having to go through his schedule, Josh's schedule, late nights. It was hard because sometimes I was even like questioning myself, like, dude, do I really want to fucking do this? Like, my body fucking hurts, and you're still like having to watch what you eat, to like you coming down to trainings, you're mentally breaking yourself every day to push yourself, because once those lights come, you have to perform. You had to be that entertainer, what people came to watch and see you do. You don't want no self-doubt coming in there. Lucky had Josh Torres talking through me the whole way, telling me, like, give me the rundown before. And then going to the fights, no one talks about, like, having the commission on your ass 24/7. Can you drink, like you had to have certain waters. I can't have because of too many electrolytes. I didn't know you can, like me being used to pre-workout, get me through for, like, the gym. I couldn't fucking have that. So it was different. I was so sad because I was just like, you're waiting there since almost, like, 2 p.m. The fights don't start at 7 p.m. You're already there in the locker room all day and everything, just waiting and waiting and waiting. It gets tiring. And that's why I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to get some caffeine. You can't fucking do that. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm going to have to have natural energy somehow.
And what was the reason behind that?
I don't know. Every commission is different. Some people just don't like it because of caffeine or whatever. So they was on you like, what is that? What are you drinking? What are you eating? Watching you go to the bathroom, making sure you're not doing anything while you're in the bathroom.
Jesus.
So you're just having someone on your ass 24/7 until that fight, until you step in the ring. So
they're making sure you don't pull out.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And make sure you don't cheat. You know what I mean? There's not a national commission for boxing. They're all individual state commissions or reservation commissions that they have. So every state's different. So it's just tough when you're there. They making sure that you're not gonna pull out. You're not pulling nothing crazy, and you're like being in jail with the PO that's gonna follow you everywhere, even all the way to the ring. You even get to the ring, they tell you what you could do and can't do. Even when you get out the ring, the fight's over. You're trying to give interviews like we're trying, and they won't even let us do that. They're telling us we have to leave and get back to the room. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to put on, like, my freaking coat, and they're like, hurry up, and they're putting it on. I'm like, oh, my arm, fucking break my arm, calm down. Like, I still got energy, and that adrenaline rush is still going through my system. Like, and they're just like, it was just from that, even from before aspect, because people say you have to do it's a lot from you. You had to make sure you get your blood work, your CAT scan, your medicals, everything goes. It's a lot of fucking money. By the time you even step in the ring, you probably put like $5,000 down or something like that.
Oh, so you're paying?
No, not me.
Oh,
not me. Fuck no.
Okay.
Well, not trying to be mean, but some people do. Some people do.
Well, that's
like,
crazy though.
Because like some people, if you have like medical insurance and maybe you don't, and like that's why it's a big thing to have a manager. Certain people you're going through, like I was blessed to have a manager to pay for stuff like that for me. And like by the time the fight got, they already put down like $10K into me, and that's before me even getting paid. And because of little details from the uniforms, the tickets, the hotel rooms, my food compensation, the drivers, it all adds up.
We don't want to talk about drivers.
We went into the wrong.
Can't talk about Bruno.
Yeah, we walked into the wrong driver. We were late at night, and we got stopped in the middle of the freeway. They were just like, they canceled our Uber on us, and we were like, what the fuck? I guess we were so tired. I didn't realize we walked into the wrong driver. Like, oh, okay. So yeah, my pops about to fight someone in there. 3 in the morning. We was tired. We just
stopped on the freeway.
Yeah, we were just
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we were just on our way to the Philly airport, and we were just tired, bro. We just got done fighting. We was up all night, We just got in the car, and I was like, oh, my bad, We just thought it was the same Lexus. So, oh, never mind, wrong one.
And that fucking driver didn't confirm
no
who their passenger was or passengers.
No, yeah, it was chaotic. It's a lot of adrenaline rush building up to the fights because there's a lot before input you got to put yourself into, designing, waiting on your uniform, see if it's gonna come in time, outfits, even the stuff that I wanted to do didn't get done because I didn't have the time frame, because you would think even 6 to 8 weeks is enough. It's really not.
Jesus. So looking back at that fight footage, as you've been watching it, I'm sure. What do you think are the highlights of what you did right?
The right hand. And honestly, I'm glad I walked in the ring and acted like I knew what the fuck I was doing. Because that was the first time. You're never going to get your first pro experience ever again. And a lot of people, when they go on the first pro fight, they get all this adrenaline rush, and off the back, they're probably throwing a million fucking punches, and they're, I just want to score the KO, blah, blah, blah. That's why after the fight, people, like a lot of seasoned fighters are like, wow, Sharahya, you actually took your fucking time and made it at the pace you wanted to do.
I was going to say, you looked very mechanical.
Thank you.
Very, and I don't want to say like in a robotic way, obviously, but you look very mechanical. You look very dialed in. Like everything you were doing was purposeful.
Yeah, you spend all that time training over and over, and that's the crazy thing about the pro boxing, because now compared to the amateurs, you got the bracket set up. You don't even know who the fuck you're fighting. By the time you do, you got 6 hours or less than that to figure out what's going on. You know, you had to be quick and adaptive. Now on the pros, you actually have somebody, a game opponent, where you know how they fight. You're looking for their weakness, their strong points. You know their mistakes. You're gonna practice over and over. Now you're thinking 100 million game plans to beat them. And I say that one doesn't work. Now you got the rounds to figure it out. And so I followed the plan book and I did that. And that's what it comes down to: the training, the strength and conditioning, the weight cuts, repetition over and over. And when it gets tired of drilling, you're like, oh, I'm fucking done with the shit. But it played in a factor and it got the job done.
Well, it was a phenomenal fight. You should be very proud of yourself. And I know that your
you.
father is very proud of both of you and your brother.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised because I thought I was going to get like, I don't know. People like, did you get nervous, adrenaline rush? I was so calm. It just felt like another day. I was like, when's the nerves going to kick in? Even like Josh, he's like, you still not nervous? Like, am I supposed to be? Like,
that was my daughter's first fight. I was not nervous.
Yeah, and I have over like...
And I'm the most nervous person when it comes to
I have like close to like 70 amateur fights, so yeah.
As soon as I get in, she's walking the ring, I gotta pee all of a sudden. Yeah. You know, like I feel like I'm gonna pee on myself because that's how nervous I get for fights. That fight, it was weird. It's like we knew we belonged there. We knew we were gonna show out, and like we knew it's like a fish when they born, they know how to swim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Know how to teach them, or like that's a horse when it's born knows how to walk. It was like that.
Yeah.
We went through the 9 months. The amateurs that being conceived, and then boom, now we're born. Yeah. And we're ready to go. We gotta get baby fed.
And the favorite thing about the pro scenery is now you're the boss and everything. You now have my managers, and they tell me like, we work for you. You tell us what the fuck you want, what you want to do.
Well, and again, I don't have a fucking manager. I don't have a team. But what I will say is, hearing enough interviews and reading enough stories about stuff like that, you have a good management team.
Thank you.
You know, because there's a lot of other management teams, and they're not hard to find. Like the stories about them, right? They're not hard to find, of these management teams and these agencies that just take advantage of the talent.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way, right? They take advantage of the talent and they just milk you for everything they can. Like, oh, well, she didn't do this, or she didn't do that, or she did this too much, so we had to release her. It's like, no, you took all the money you thought you could and then dropped them.
Yeah, and then when it comes down to that, people get the managers and they give them like bonuses and stuff like that people had to pay for, and they didn't have to do that to me because they up front where people were like, oh, I got this money, and I'm like, oh, you got this money, but did you not realize you had to pay all that back in your fights now?
Yeah.
You're probably showing off that new car, new whip, new house, but they actually own it.
Right.
It's a loan. Yeah, it's a loan.
It's a loan.
Right. So they were very upfront with me, and they make sure to get ready. People even come down today like, oh, when's the next fight? Da-da-da-da. I'm like, yo, chill out. It's a process and everything. Yeah.
As your head's still ringing, hey, give me a second.
Yeah, like, hello. You don't realize your body input, what it takes, it also has to heal as much as the training you put into it. It needs to fucking heal for the next one.
Yeah. Well put. I'm glad you know that now, because a lot of people get taken advantage of, and there's a lot of musicians like that, right? Who get these 180, 360 deals on their contracts. They get $1 million. It's like, no, it's a loan. Yeah. Now you have to fund all your touring, your merch, your recording,
and
your
pretty
videos,
much, and now you're performing for free.
Yep. Now you got to pay it all back. So it's good that you know that now, and you clearly have amazing guidance over you right now, watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, look, it's been almost 3 hours. This has been fucking awesome. I really do appreciate you coming down and doing this. I appreciate the time of all three of you. This has been amazing. Do you have anything coming up? Any fights coming up? I'm
about to get started in training camp, like an actual training camp in November, so that at the end of the month, because I have something going on for hopefully January, and there's other stuff that's opening up to keep me busy, so I have a better timeline. So next year's gonna be, I don't have no free time. That's the crazy part. So I'm about to start making some real harsh decisions in life where am I gonna really be in Albuquerque for a lot of it?
That does not sound like a bad problem to have.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see where you go, because you have an incredible amount of talent.
Thank you.
So I'm very excited to see where your career goes. If you do have a fight within a 300-mile radius, I'd love to come see you fight.
Oh, heck yeah. Texas.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
so
thank you
again for coming down and doing this. This has seriously been an amazing pleasure. So thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you everyone for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye everybody.